are Locked On Eagles, your daily Philadelphia Eagles podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in, Eagles fans. It is time for the 2022 NFL Draft. I'm Louie DiBiase. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to be with you all throughout the first round of the draft, which starts in just 30 minutes from right now. My co-host, Gino Camilleri, he's going to join me in about 10 to 15 minutes to preview this draft, and it's going to conclude pretty much what has been the most unpredictable NFL offseason that I've ever seen in my life when it comes to the trades that happened at the quarterback position with Russell Wilson, with Deshaun Watson, with Carson Wentz at wide receiver, with Devontae Adams, and now you hear Tyreek Hill. You hear about Deebo Samuel potentially being on the move tonight. And today we head into a draft that we've been doing mock drafts since the Eagles lost in the wild card against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's like 20 weeks, of mock drafts and scenarios. And leading up until this point, we are 30 minutes away from the draft. And guys, I have no idea who is going to be even the first overall pick. Like last year, heading back at this time last year in 2021, I could have told you who probably the first 7 to 10 players were going to be. I feel like it was pretty predictable. Right now, no idea what's going to happen. Maybe it's Trayvon Walker at 1. Is it Malik Willis at 2 with the Detroit Lions? Are they going pass rusher as well, though, with Aiden Hutchinson? Look, I love speculation season. I have loved doing 5 shows a week throughout this offseason, especially. It has been so much fun. Even though the Eagles didn't really do anything crazy, they're always in on it. But at the same time, I'm ready for some results, and we're going to get that in just 28 minutes. We'll be live throughout the first round. The Eagles right now picking at 15 and 18 overall. And that's right now, though. Like we just saw Ian Rappaport on NFL Network say that the Eagles could be the team that dictates how this draft starts the most because they are actively trying to get inside of the top 10. We also saw Jesse Palmer from NFL Network earlier today say, in an ideal world, the Eagles want to move up, potentially for an edge rusher, a receiver, a cornerback, and then they want to move down with that 18th overall selection. So right now they're picking at 15 and 18, which means they'll be probably on the clock in a couple hours, but I am not so sure. Howie Roseman loves to trade. He has already made a move, collecting that first-round pick in 2023 with the New Orleans Saints and moving that 19th pick in 16 and grabbing 18. So he has already moved. There's only been a couple seasons really ever that Howie has not, that he's just stayed put at his selection. I actually saw a stat today from the Philadelphia Inquirer that said the Eagles have made the most trades involving draft picks during the offseason since the 2000s outside of the New England Patriots. It's them and the Patriots that have made the most moves. So right now they're picking at 15 and 18, but I do not think that is going to be the case for long tonight. And what they do, again, I'm not so sure. Right now, my gut is saying they're going to target that top tier of edge rushers or corners. If Ahmad Gardner falls, if Derek Stingley falls, Jermaine Johnson, Kayvon Thibodeau, I don't think Trayvon Walker is going 1 or 2. And I think Aiden Hutchinson is going to go off the board that early as well. So to me, if the Eagles are trading up, it's with Stingley, Gardner, I would say Johnson, Thibodeau, and then Jordan Davis in mind, right? Maybe Jamison Williams as well. But that's still like 6 prospects I rattled off, and it could be any of them. Again, this draft is so unpredictable, and I cannot wait to get this going. How important is this draft for the Philadelphia Eagles? Again, we've said it on the podcast throughout the offseason that, this is the most anticipated draft since 2016 when they moved up for Carson Wentz because they had 3 first-round picks that you were looking at from the Colts and Dolphins and their own. And, just that kind of capital you haven't had because in that Super Bowl window, Howie Roseman thought he had at least, he's trading 4th-round picks for Jay Ajayi. He's given up 3rds for Golden Tate. He had future picks already given up in that Carson Wentz trade. So you look at a draft class like 2018, although they knocked that class out of the park, they only had 5 picks in the first 4 rounds or in the first set. Oh no, I think that was the entire draft. They only had 5 picks, and a lot of them most of them turned into extensions outside of Matt Pryor. But again, this draft, just the quality and quantity over quality is so abundant in comparison to recent years that even Howie Roseman has said it before, like, you want more attempts at bat. Like, you're not going to lie and say that you think you have a better chance than others with the same, like, you trust your process, right? And you do have confidence in your scouting department, your front office, your coaches to make the picks right. But you're not going to lie and say that we don't need as many picks as other teams. Like, that would be egotistical to think that we don't need as many picks as others and we're going to crush it. Like, that's just not the case. And so they want more draft picks, and they've had them this year. So it's important in that way, especially with the timeline right now, that this team needs young, long-term talent for this new core that they started building last year. And I think on the offensive side of the football, I think they have a lot of those players, right? You have your franchise left tackle in Jordan Mailata. You have your franchise left guard or center in Landon Dickerson. I still think Isaac Seumalo is a long-term piece, as is Lane Johnson. You've got your wide receiver 1 in Devontae Smith, your tight end 1 in Dallas Goedert. Miles Sanders or Kenny Gainwell, to me, are your long-term running backs. Quez Watkins, to me, is going to be a top 3 receiver long-term. Maybe Jalen Hurts is the franchise quarterback. Like, the offense already has a lot of those pieces, but why this draft is also important is because on the defensive side of the football, they don't really have any of that. I mean, how many young, long-term core pieces do you have on that unit? You've got Josh Sweat and Hassan Riddick, both locked up for more than 3 years, right? Those 2 edge rushers. And is that it? I mean, Avonte Maddox, right? So you have a long-term slot. But outside of that, you have no idea. Maybe Davian Taylor becomes a long-term piece at linebacker. Maybe Kazir White is the next guy that gets a mid-season extension like how he loves to give up. A 26-year-old they just signed in free agency at the linebacker position. Maybe those guys do pan out. Maybe Marcus Epps or Kevon Wallace become good role players. But this team doesn't have cornerstones on defense like they do on offense. So in that way, this draft is extremely important with the quantity of picks, with the needs they have, both short-term and long-term, especially on the defensive side of the football. And considering where they were last year, winning 9 games, making the playoffs, this can be the draft that sets them up from being, I would just say, a quarterback away. And that's why it's not as important as potentially next year's if it doesn't involve finding your quarterback right now, as you still evaluate who Jalen Hurts is long-term. So it's not as important to me as, again, if it involves a quarterback like 2016, potentially next year, not to assume Jalen Hurts isn't going to be the guy, but if I was a betting man, I would say next year they'll be in on quarterbacks. So it's not going to be like the most important draft of the next decade, of the last decade, maybe even, but it's going to be up there. And they have a rare opportunity with 5 picks in the first 3 rounds to collect a lot of young, long-term pieces. I mean, 5 picks this year in the first 3 rounds. You've got 2 first-round picks in 2023. You've got 2 second-round picks in 2024. Howie Roseman has set this team up to have draft flexibility, to have draft quality when it comes to the leverage they're going to have with trades and with different things they can do moving up and down the board. And that's because of the draft quality that he has set up. But now comes time for the results. Results have to happen with this football team in the draft. And it's been a mixed bag throughout Howie Roseman's tenure as the general manager. He's nailed day 2 and day 3 of the draft for the majority of his time as the GM since the early 2010s. But the first round, last year he crushed it. Not going to lie. Devontae Smith, Landon Dickerson, Milton Williams as the top 3 picks in the first 3 rounds. That was a great draft, and it was a good rebound class. But it's been pretty bad since Carson Wentz in 2016 with Derek Barnett and in Sidney Jones in the second round, and then you don't have a first round pick in 2018 and 2019. It's Andre Dillard, and who knows? Does Andre Dillard get traded tonight? Maybe, and maybe your 2020 first round pick gets dealt with Jalen Reagor. There was a report earlier today and yesterday as well that the team will be willing to listen to offers for Jalen Reagor. And your second round pick in Jalen Hurts, like, he's a quarterback that just led you to the playoffs. But to me, he cost you. He was the final nail in the coffin on your former franchise quarterback. So Howie Roseman has set this team up long-term to have success with the draft picks they have. But now it comes time for the execution. Like, one thing I've always loved about Howie Roseman, I believe, is his philosophy on things, is his willingness to adapt, his understanding of value, with trades and with where guys are going to be, on the board. And I do think at the same time, he's very in tune with around the league, what's going on with other teams and their operations. But this has always been his Achilles heel, outside of a few other things as well. Howie Roseman certainly has a lot of issues as the head of this front office, but the big issue has always been early on in the NFL draft, failing to execute and really extend the core that you do have. So this draft is extremely important in that way for him to continue to prove that he is a changed man again, like we thought he was when they won the Super Bowl. It was a great rebound year in 2021, but the thing about Howie Roseman has always been he is great at cleaning up a mess that most of the time he played a big role in creating, but sustaining that success afterwards has always been, to me, the biggest issue. And now we're heading into year 2 with a head coach, brand new, a 23-year-old quarterback, a new core, a lot of young pieces on offense, a lot of draft picks. This is normally when things start to get shaky. So let's see if he can truly show that he's changed. I can't wait. We have 19 minutes to go until the Jacksonville Jaguars and former head coach Doug Peterson is on the clock. Also, guys, just some programming information for you tonight, just to know what you should expect from Locked On Eagles and the Locked On Podcast Network. So we're going to be live all throughout the first round. The pick 15 for the Eagles right now and pick 18. Although, again, I think they're going to move for sure. We'll be around for all 32 picks. We're also going to be making appearances on our Locked On NFL live show right now. We have our studios in Dallas, Eric Crocker. We have as well Peter Bukowski. Our Locked On team is down in Dallas with another live show that you can also check out. Gino and I will be making an appearance on that show when the Eagles do make their selection. We're also going to have a recap podcast available on all podcast platforms after the draft, reacting to the 2 picks the Eagles likely do make today. And articles on Fox 43, going to be talking Birds on Twitter all throughout the weekend as well, at Locked On Birds and at DiBiase LOE, at GC24_football. It's going to be a jam-packed 3 days. This is my favorite time of year. I personally love the regular season. How can you not? It's when actual football is being played. But I love draft season. I mean, I love it. All the unknowns, especially this year. Like, for people with anxiety, I mean, this is tough because we're trying to figure everything out, and it's overwhelming at times, but in a good way. Like, you don't want to know what's going to happen, right? Like, you don't want to see a movie and know every step of what happened. I'm a huge Marvel guy, and I can't stand when I'm on TikTok or on Twitter and I see Spider-Man No Way Home spoilers. Like, no, I mean, yeah, it's fun to speculate and to predict, like Gino and I have done all throughout the offseason with these shows, but I hope this goes haywire. Believe me, like, I think I know what to expect to a certain degree. I hope I don't. Not in the 2020 way where they select Jalen Hurts, although this year I'd be in on taking a quarterback, but like, unpredictability isn't always a good thing. But for the most part, it is, and draft season is just so enjoyable. And thank you all so much for tuning into the live show and for checking out all our podcasts throughout this offseason. It's been such a joy, again, to be hopefully one of the voices for you guys getting ready for the draft. 5 shows a week, and you guys all came back each and every time. It's exciting. It's an exciting time to be an Eagles fan. I remember last year at this time feeling not doom and gloom, but wasn't feeling great after the 2020 season and after not thinking they were going to draft a quarterback when I really liked Justin Fields and Trey Lance. And, they traded down with the Dolphins from 8 to 12. And so, they were sitting there and you're like, okay, yeah, they'll probably take Devontae Smith or a corner and it's fun. But this team was coming off the worst season they've had in a very long time. Maybe one of the most impactful seasons in franchise history, talking about what they lost with their head coach and quarterback and all the turnover. So to fast forward 365 days to this point, coming off a playoff appearance, which I did not think they were going to have, and it was, I don't want to say it was fool's gold, but they're clearly not a finished product. They're not a title contender. But with all these draft picks, with the progress they made last year, with the young players that helped you go on that run, And it's not 2019 young players like Deontay Burnett, Joshua Perkins, those kind of players, Robert Davis, that aren't going to be long-term pieces. Last year, a lot of your young guys were key in carrying you to the playoffs. And that is a huge part of this foundation that you can build upon. So to have this opportunity tonight with the NFL draft, I think it's a really good time to be an Eagles fan. Shout out here to Nate Beck. Let's get some questions in. And again, send your questions in. You can watch the stream on Twitter, on YouTube, at Locked On Birds, at DiBiase LOE, Locked On Eagles on YouTube. Nate Beck writes in, if we trade up, I hope it's for Kyle Hamilton or Ahmad Sauce Gardner, the cornerback from Cincinnati, and the safety from Notre Dame. So let's talk about it, because again, there have been multiple reports today that the Eagles are trying to get inside the top 10 from that 15th overall pick, probably using one of those third-round picks they have, 83 overall and 101, and maybe they want to trade down from 18. So let's talk about scenarios, what to expect tonight. Number one, again, expect the unexpected, but let's try to predict what's going to happen. To me, the most likely scenario, especially if they are going to trade up, I think hearing the rumors, hearing Howie Roseman talk, taking a look at the board and trying to predict what's going to happen, the most likely scenario tonight for the Eagles, I think, is a trade up inside the top 10 from 15, and then you trade down from 18 into the 20s. A team like the Green Bay Packers maybe comes up for a wide receiver, the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know how far the Pittsburgh Steelers are willing to jump up for a quarterback, but let's say they want to move up to like 15 or 18 and draft Matt Corral or Desmond Ridder. I saw on NFL Network today, they were talking about how the Steelers might really like Corral. So maybe you find a team that wants a quarterback, a team that wants a wide receiver, a team like the Buffalo Bills as well. Try to catch a team in a Super Bowl window, being more aggressive. I think that is what to expect tonight for the Birds. James Palmer, I called him Jesse Palmer earlier. I apologize. Not that he's watching this, but James Palmer of NFL Network, he reported the Eagles want to do that. So did Ian Rappaport. The thing I don't know is what it's going to be for, because again, it's really hard to predict right now how this board is going to fall. Like, I think 2 pass rushers are going to go inside the top 3, right? Whether they go to, Jacksonville, Detroit, or Houston, Aiden Hutchinson and Trayvon Walker, to me, are coming off the board. So those 2 aren't going to be available. Then, though, again, it's tough. Like, I would say the Eagles are going to try to trade up for, Kayvon Thibodeau, Jermaine Johnson, Derek Stingley, Ahmad Gardner, Jordan Davis, or Jamison Williams. One of those 6 players. One of the 2 corners left in the top tier, the top 2 corners. One of the top 2 edge rushers left in that tier, or the top defensive tackle or top receiver. So that's likely what's going to happen. And again, I want the corners more than any of those players. Derek Stingley or Ahmad Sauce Gardner. If you can get one of those guys, like, that is the ideal scenario. But I don't know who's going to be available. Like, I think Jamison Williams and Jordan Davis will be available for a trade up if you want to do that. If you want to get in front of a team like the Baltimore Ravens for Jordan Davis, I think that would make sense. If you want to get up before a team like the Chiefs do or the Packers for Jamison Williams, maybe you want to jump in front of a team like Minnesota who could take him, or the Houston Texans, or heck, Baltimore could do it with Lamar Jackson and surround Lamar with Hollywood Brown, Rashad Bateman, and Jamison Williams. That could certainly happen. I think that is a likely scenario that plays out, but I think they want more than that. I think they want Jermaine Johnson, Kayvon Thibodeau, Derek Stingley, or Ahmad Gardner. I think Gardner is not going to be, you're not going to be able to trade up for Gardner. I don't think it's going to happen. He could go as early as 3 to the Houston Texans. So too could Derek Stingley. Again, I feel like Gardner is the consensus CB1, but Gino ranked on yesterday's show, he ranked Stingley as the top corner. So that's something that's possible. So you look at those 2 players, the Giants on the clock, they could take one of those guys. There's a lot of teams up there at the top. The New York Jets at 4 could take Gardner, Stingley. If they get outside the top 5 and you can try to jump up to maybe 6 with Carolina and get one of those corners, to me, that's the ideal scenario that I want and maybe that they want. But I think the better chance for them is to get Williams, Davis, and then maybe one of Thibodeau and Jermaine Johnson. But I want one of the corners. I just do really bad. And to me, I don't want to stick my nose up at Jermaine Johnson or Kayvon Thibodeau. Like Jermaine Johnson is one of my favorite players in this entire draft class. And to have Jermaine Johnson, Hassan Riddick, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, Javon Hargrave and Fletcher Cox on the inside with Milton Williams' depth and, Derek Barnett as well. Like that's a really enticing situation to have. But at the same time, when you look at the edge, and this is why I didn't want offensive lineman either or defensive tackle, like you're not forcing a need. You shouldn't take, Kyle Gordon, the corner from Washington at 15, just because you need a corner. And so, especially with an edge position that you can rotate guys, especially in this new look defense, you can use Hassan Riddick in different ways. You could, line Jermaine Johnson up in different spots, like off the ball, having those guys blitz through the middle, having them on the edge, doing what Brandon Graham does and moving inside more as like a defensive tackle. There's a lot of ways to use pass rushers, and you want at least 3 or 4 good rotational pieces. It's a huge part of why the Eagles won the Super Bowl was because they had Brandon Graham, Vinnie Curry, Derek Barnett, and Chris Long. But I'll say at the same time, if you're going to trade up for a player, it's going to be at edge, where it's the only spot on defense that you have 2 long-term pieces hooked up on 3+ year contracts with Josh Sweat and Hassan Riddick. Like you got to ask yourself, what's the long-term outlook of the edge rusher that you trade up for? Like, let's say you trade up for Jermaine Johnson. Okay. Are there going to be times that you have Jermaine Johnson, Josh Sweat, Hassan Riddick all out there at the same time? Yeah, 100%. But you don't want that out there the majority of the time. Like, is there a major role to be had for that edge rusher that you trade up for? Because I'll tell you what, the Eagles are not going to, the majority of the time, have 5+ players out there that their only main role is to rush the quarterback. Like, yeah, you're not going to bring 4 every single time, no matter the situation, like Jim Schwartz did. But at the same time, like Hassan Riddick, Josh Sweat, Jermaine Johnson, could they play in space in these situations? Yeah. And that's going to happen at times. Hassan Riddick isn't technically a defensive end. Like he can drop back and cover zone areas. Like that can certainly happen, but you don't want that to be your main package on defense. You don't want that to be a main responsibility for those players. The head coach himself, Nick Sirianni, said it. Their job, Hassan Riddick's job, is to go after the quarterback. So you're not going to, at risk of having less guys to cover, have 5 guys on the field the majority of the time to go after the quarterback. And so then a real off-ball linebacker that can actually cover, or a safety, another corner, those guys are going to be off the field. Like you're going to be limited in that way if that is the plan. So to me, I'm not saying Jermaine Johnson would be only a role player on this defense, and the value might just be too good to pass up. Talent-wise, and this team is enamored with pass rush, as you should. Look at the team that just won the Super Bowl with the Rams and what they had with Aaron Donald and Von Miller and Leonard Floyd investing in that spot. Has won so many teams championships, including teams in this division, the Eagles and the New York Giants. The NASCAR package the Giants had beat the Patriots twice. But at the same time, to me, like if it comes down to, like maybe Derek Stingley and Gardner aren't available, and then if you trade up for an edge rusher, okay, I would understand. Or let's say you took one with the 18th pick, like Arnold Ebiketie from Penn State, or Boye Mafe from Minnesota. You take a guy in the second round. Again, I understand. Brandon Graham, he's not going to play forever. Derek Barnett, I don't want to play at all. So you need probably 2 more pass rushers. But at the same time, like if I'm going to trade up for a guy, I want to know they're going to be on the field like 100% of the time, or if not 100% of the time, a main player. So you can trade up for an edge rusher. But to me, if it's between that, if they trade up for Jermaine Johnson and Derek Stingley is available, or Ahmad Gardner is available, that's going to be tough to swallow. So to me, the best case scenario, trade up for Derek Stingley or Ahmad Gardner, move down from 18, and then that's your day one. The most likely scenario, I think probably trade up for an edge and then move down at 18. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. The NFL draft starts in just 5 minutes. My co-host Gino Camilleri is going to join me next. Don't go anywhere. We're live all throughout the draft, baby, right here on Locked On Eagles. Welcome, my man.
I made it. I turned an hour drive into 45 minutes. We're back, guys. Just won a close game, 4-3. We're rolling at 100 miles per hour going into the draft, Lou.
That's right. Gino, just
Yes, sir.
is your mic on the right setting?
Let's see.
Just take a look there.
Yeah, we are good to go. Should I turn it up?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Yep, let me give you guys some gain. We'll be here all night, right? How's that sound? A little bit better?
Yeah, you're good, man.
A little bit better? Perfect.
What's going on, man? You ready?
Oh, man, I've just been going through all the scenarios today. I got news on Andrew Booth's medicals being bad. So, like, my whole day's kind of just been a little frazzled. Like, what's going to happen? Like, we're finally here, and you and I have absolutely 0.5 idea of what's going to happen in the next couple hours or so.
Yeah. So the last half hour I spent talking about, most likely scenario, best case scenario, and maybe worst case scenario. So, Gino, to me, the most likely is they're going to trade up inside the top 10.
Agreed.
I wish it was for Derek Stingley or Ahmad Gardner. I don't know if that's going to be the case. And then it's, to me, going to be probably for an edge rusher. And if it's not for an edge rusher, it's going to be Kayvon Thibodeau, or it's going to be Jermaine Johnson, right? Or that's if it's an edge rusher. And if not, Jordan Davis or Jamison Williams at receiver and defensive tackle. To me, the best case scenario, though, is if one of those corners can fall. Like, if they get outside that top 5, like, hopefully you get maybe a tackle in there. If you can get a quarterback and another one of those edge rushers maybe to push somebody down, like Stingley or Gardner. That, to me, is ideal. And I know you would love Kyle Hamilton from safety, too.
Yeah, you absolutely know I would. And I was just kind of going through it in my head, and we kind of talked about it a little bit yesterday. I hope, and we should all hope, that there is a trade prior to the Philadelphia Eagles to move up for a team to get a quarterback. Ideally, that would be probably the best case scenario, because you and I both are under the strong impression that Malik Willis goes 2. I think that's fair. And then
I don't know anymore now, though, man. Like, all we're hearing is like Trayvon Walker, maybe Thibodeau, and maybe Hutchinson. Like, and this, it's 8:00, and I don't know any single pick. Like last year, we probably could have predicted the top 7, and we did.
I was thinking about like the Carson Wentz year, right? When it's like we know who's going 1, we know who's going 2. After that, it's kind of just like whatever. We already got our guy. Now we're saying this tree, and it's kind of like a what if tree. Like, what if it goes bad? Like, yeah, 5 edge rushers go in the top 10. Could that happen in this draft? I mean, I wouldn't doubt it at all. Do the 2 top cornerbacks get taken? And then you're sitting there saying, man, like I should have traded up. That's ideally the end goal, is that you don't trade up in a desperate scenario, I would say. Like, be confident that like you have 1 or 2 guys there. Like, I would just in case like something does happen, worst case scenario. But I'm firmly under the impression with you, Lou. I believe that edge rusher, Kayvon Thibodeau especially, we talked about this earlier today, I would fall in love with. Kyle Hamilton, another guy that I would be over the moon for. Like, you better watch out for your eardrums here the next couple hours if that were to be the case. But
dude, I know. Hopefully they give us something to react for in a good way. To me, Gino, the worst case scenario, here's what would be my nightmare today. Would be if they stay and take a defensive tackle, to me, not named Jordan Davis. So I'm not on board for Devontae Wyatt, to be honest with you. I think that's the only guy, really. DeMarvin Leal, I've seen in mock drafts early on in the process in the first round, but I'm not so sure about that. Not addressing the secondary in the first 2 rounds would be the worst case scenario, and you go with heavy on trenches on the interior, especially if it's the offensive line or the defensive line. And you maybe like receiver. Again, positions they should take most of the time, but for once, man, like with one of these first 3 picks, and maybe it isn't today, they need to come away with a corner or safety. I want 2 of the picks dedicated to those spots, but at least one has got to be that. And if you take, to me, an underwhelming player at a position that I just don't really want today, and to me, that's like on the interior of these lines, unless it's Jordan Davis, because, Gino, he's the one guy I do think is a complete game changer at that spot in the first round. He's a unicorn at that position. When you can get a unicorn at any position, right, you do take that player. So I would understand that. But outside of that, to me, I'm really hoping they come away with at least 1 defensive back today.
I said it the other day, or I said it today on Twitter. I tweeted it out. Secondary, no matter what. Took a page out of draft day. That's kind of like what we do. That's our running movie here on this show. And I'm all for, and I'm still under the same kind of mentality I was 3-4 months ago. Like, if we went defense with every single pick, especially on day 1 and day 2, I would walk away completely satisfied. And I'm with you on Devontae Wyatt. Like, if you're going to go there, move back. Ideally, Lou, I think what Howie Roseman wants to do at the end of the day, first pick, number 15, we're moving up. We're going to get up 6-7 spots. We're going to go get our guy. Then at 18, we're going to move back. And ideally, we get a pick in the middle of the 20s and we add another day 2 pick. That would be ideal. And I really think Howie Roseman wants to go into that predicament and into that scenario, because we talk about how many guys are on the board at any given time for a team. It's usually between 16 to 19. Hey, maybe they know something on one of the big name wide receivers or Jordan Davis that the public doesn't know, and that takes them off their board. I think 15 is the cutoff for first round guys. And after that, I believe that it's going to go, okay, who's the top priority guys that are second round grades that we could probably grab a first round on, get that additional fifth year option to that player. And if it's safety with that second pick, Lou, and they move back for it, I think that would be great.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. And Gino, again, I am acting in the world that quarterback is just not happening, because for me, again, best case scenario, I talked about corner trading up for one, but the best case scenario for me, like it was last year, I wanted Justin Fields. This year, it's the same thing. Like, if I don't want any quarterback, like I don't want to take Kenny Pickett or Sam Howell today, but if Malik Willis didn't go, I think not even just for the Eagles, whoever is not taking Malik Willis today is making a mistake if you potentially could use a quarterback. And so it's not going to happen most likely. So I'm acting in a different scenario, a different world, because I don't think it's going to happen. But man, there's like I don't know, man, just the fan in me in the back of my head is still like, well, maybe all this trade up talk in the mentions of Jameson Williams and Jordan Davis and edge rushers and corners is all smoke screen because they're competing with Pittsburgh to go up and get their guy. It's not going to probably happen, but I mean, that to me is my ideal thing that happens tonight. But again, in less realistic terms.
Let's take a player, for example, Jordan Davis, let's say. I look at the team right in front of them, Baltimore. I think Daniel Jeremiah or maybe Ross Tucker tweeted about it. What am I talking about? He tweeted it yesterday saying that if there was ever a perfect player for Baltimore, it's Jordan Davis, a two-gap penetrating guy. They've had that player in their defensive system for God knows how long. Ideally, you have to get in front of them. And there's a couple teams that, if I'm Pittsburgh and let's say I want him because they wanted Fletcher Cox, right? Maybe they want Jordan Davis. We know that organization, they'll take any swing that it takes. I mean, they moved a first-round pick to go up and get Devin Bush. Would they do it to go and get Jordan Davis? I fully believe so. So are you going to firm up what you know is behind you and in front of you and take that off the board? Or are you going to take the 2013 approach and let things come to you? Howie Roseman was bitten by that once, right? He was bitten by that before. I think he knows that can't happen again. And in this class where, there might be 12 to 13 guys who are instant day one starters that you toss out there, let's just go get them. Worry about the picks later. We can always recruit picks by going back, right, Lou? Let's worry about getting that guy at first because we don't know what's going to happen after that. We're going to know what's going to happen before that. But currently, we have no idea. And the Philadelphia Eagles also shouldn't put any question marks about what's going to be there. Know what's going to be there. Go up, get your guy. Howie Roseman talked about that they have the trades in place beforehand. They've kind of measured out what these deals will be.
You have to, man, because there's so much unpredictability. You don't have 20 minutes to talk to all these teams and figure out how the board's going to fall and prepare for all this different stuff. Like, you had to work that out for months. I'm sure fantasy football owners can even talk about that. Like, even in your own draft, you understand that to this level, especially with this year's draft and how unpredictable it is. You're 100% right. Like, Howie had to really set this up, and it looks like he's ready. I mean, he's been working the phones, and Gino, it's getting there. It's 8:07. Roger Goodell is at the podium, opening up the official start of the 2022 NFL draft. Let's check here. What is our delays when it comes to me and you watching? Because last year when they took Devontae Smith, you knew for about, because I'm streaming on my ESPN Plus, or NFL Network on my YouTube TV. You knew about the pick probably like I would say 30 seconds before, and that was your guy. Like that'd be like me waiting for you to know that the Eagles just took Malik Willis. And so
yeah, right.
Yeah, so I'm right now. They just zoomed in on Derek Carr and Darren Waller. Okay, so
wicked haircut for Derek Carr.
Yeah, looks good.
That's something, man.
All right, good. So we're on an even playing field.
Yeah, we're good to go, brother.
Because that's still one of my favorite reactions was last year. You just like intently staring with like a blank face. And then you saw me freak out with that gross long hair I had at the time. But
I know, right? We kind of traded places there. And,
yeah,
I think we'll be good today. I'm running NFL Network. I can't stand it.
Yeah, I'm doing NFL Network too. I mean, I'm on mute anyway, so it doesn't.
It doesn't
quite matter.
You're here listening to the Locked On Eagles podcast, and I hope Jacksonville just makes his pick right away. Like they've had way too much time.
Do you think they know? Like remember in 2016, the Rams took all 7 minutes to pick Jared Goff, and that made me nervous. I'm like, are they going to switch up and take Carson Wentz here? But they knew. Like the Jaguars, do they know? They got to know.
Well, the latest that we kind of have heard in circles is that now they're bringing up Ice Cube. This is such a Vegas draft, baby. I love it. I love it. But I would say that. Say your question one more time. I'm sorry, I got distracted by Ice Cube coming out.
If the Jaguars if they know now what they want.
I believe Doug Peterson really likes Ike Ekwonu. I believe that the owner Shad Khan,
he likes Hutchinson, right?
Loves Shad Khan, and it sounds like Trent Baalke loves him some Trayvon Walker. So I don't know if they
Doug Peterson
know what
back
they're
in
doing.
a cohesive organization, baby.
Yeah,
one well-working mind hive.
I tweeted it out today. I said, if Tony Khan, who is the owner of AEW and the son of Shad Khan, has any semblance of identifying talent in the NFL like he does wrestling, Jaguars will be okay with their first pick. But it's the guy that's the general manager that I have no idea what he's doing. Like Trent Baalke is the one wild card in this whole thing to say, okay, does he take Trayvon Walker, throw the whole draft on its head, and then teams are scrambling to go up and get Aiden Hutchinson if Malik Willis is going to be pick number 2? We're going to find out very soon. Like,
I wonder where Willis is going if he doesn't go 2. I mean, it could go Carolina.
Yeah, think about. I mean, they
Pittsburgh
were at the Senior
could maybe
Bowl.
make a big trade up. Like he just makes so much sense for Detroit, but you haven't heard anything. And why wouldn't you hear anything if that was their guy? Maybe because the number 1 overall pick has been available unlike recent years and they were trying to keep it, close to the vest. But normally if there's a top 2 pick that's taken a quarterback, by now. And you don't have any inclination of that right now.
Do we?
I don't know.
Did they just keep their cards close to their chest?
You're right, though. They coached them at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
They need that kind of player. They have another pick as well to address another position.
We'll
find out,
here.
man. The Jaguars are on the clock. The NFL draft is officially underway. We are ready
Dougie
to go.
P. Look at Dougie.
Doug getting a top 2 pick for the first time since 2016 when they took his franchise quarterback in Carson Wentz.
He's had a top 2 pick to start his career in both Philly and Jacksonville.
And he got a quarterback to start. A young, very talented quarterback now. He's starting off again this time with Trevor Lawrence. I think this pick, though, is going to be Trayvon Walker. And, talk about a guy that just soared up boards. Like, I think most people liked Walker and his upside, his versatility. That guy was playing in space, standing up in coverage, playing inside on the edge. But for the most part, it was always Hutchinson, Thibodeau, heck, even Jermaine Johnson and David Ajabo when he was healthy at times were going ahead of Walker. And he has just, talk about, I don't think anybody has benefited from this draft process more than Walker. Jermaine Johnson, too. He was somebody that was more mocked in like the 15 to 32 range, and now he's probably going to be a top 10 pick tonight.
I think my favorite quote about Trayvon Walker was, if you are going to pick a player number 1 who prior to the season wasn't really on like the radar to be that number 1 pick, goes into a stacked defense, only puts up 6.5 sacks, and he's 1% athletically better than Aiden Hutchinson and Kayvon Thibodeau, your front office doesn't know what they're doing. I thought that was a very good quote because KT came out of high school, walked off the bus, and made an instant impact in Oregon. Aiden Hutchinson, more of his senior year, he was kind of more productive, but his junior year, he was still getting looks. Like, it took Trayvon Walker a long time to become even just a one-year wonder. And is it that much of a wonder, his production? Like, are you going to put that much into what he ran? That's where I'm kind of hesitant. But hey, he's not going to be on our board. He's nowhere near where the Eagles are going to take him. And if he was, I would take him. And I think he's a top 10 pick. I just think safety-wise, franchise-altering-wise, Hutchinson is like what Jacksonville should do to turn things around, like in terms of morale, in terms of good guys in the locker room. And yeah, I know what people say about KT. I don't think he's going number one. Could be
Go
Icky
two to the
Ekwonu.
Lions, though. I mean, there was a rumor that the Lions' top two on their board was Walker and Thibodeau, and it wasn't Hutchinson. So again, man, I have no idea what's going to happen here, and Jacksonville's going to start it off. Like again, I have no clue. I really have no idea. And I'm just waiting to see that trade icon and see the birds pop up like last year. I think it's going to happen.
What pick do you say things kind of settle in?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think with this draft, it's probably going to be, I don't know, after Carolina. What do you mean by settle in, though? Because like I don't know what Atlanta's going to do. They could take.
I know you're right. That was a.
I don't know, man. I don't think this year that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to be settled.
I think
we're going to be on the edge of our seat the entire time
until pick 20. I feel that way. Like
yeah,
the Eagles, the Saints, right there with 2 picks in that middle ground. The Jets have 2 picks. The Giants have 2 picks. The Lions have another pick at the back half of this draft. The Chiefs have 2 picks. I think if there was going to be a year where movement was going to be off the charts, the formula and the recipe is set up right now.
The over-under right now is 3.5 trades from Bet Online, Gino, for
3.5
trades today.
Would
you hammer the over or under there?
I say 5.
Yeah, I'd say over
so.
Too.
I think there'll be 2 into the top 10. I would say probably 2 in that middle teens area, and maybe a
trade back in for the 5th year option.
That's another factor that we have to talk about. Is like there's like 6 or 7 teams, maybe even 8 teams that don't even have a first round pick, right? So those teams, they identify their guy in the mid 20s. Yeah, let's go up and get them. That's where the trades are going to come in, and yeah, they might not be there right away in the first 10 picks if things start to fall in a way that, let's say, the couple edge rushers go. So. Yeah, nobody's going to trade up for an edge rusher. The wide receivers start to fall. The cornerbacks start to fall. Things start to settle in a little bit. But if 2 quarterbacks go, that means one team is going to have had to probably trade up unless Carolina takes one at 6. You're probably going to see some teams try and trade up for those wide receivers. I could see Jameson Williams definitely being a target into that mid-teens area for a trade up. You could probably see, I think, a team like Indianapolis. Like, yeah, they don't have the first round pick this year, but like, I know that Chris Ballard wants to do something at any given time. So like maybe the Denver Broncos, like who really knows how things are going to go there.
No idea, man. All right, let's talk while the Jaguars, their pick is in. Let's do it right now real quick with these Bet Online odds. Who is the top edge rusher that's going to go? Trayvon Walker is the favorite here. Aiden Hutchinson at 2.
I mean,
I think this pick is Walker.
I don't think Trayvon Walker goes anywhere else besides.
You don't think he goes to Detroit?
I don't think so. I think they would rather take Kayvon Thibodeau. I
thought about today too. Like even Houston at 3 could go quarterback. Like
they could.
Would you be surprised if they took Malik Willis? Why is I know they like Davis Mills, but Davis Mills should not be the reason something's off your board.
No, if Davis Mills like changes your outlook on any position in this draft, like you got to just change things how you scout really. And I'm there with you. Like I could see them go quarterback, cornerback, edge rusher. I mean, they really need a whole team. Like they really can do anything. But if Malik falls past 2, don't count it out. Like that 100% could be the pick, and I wouldn't be shocked. And if this is Icky Ekwonu, things are going to get real interesting, my friend. Like that's when
I know, and that's what the Eagles should be rooting for.
Yes,
we want 2 linemen at least going, Neal and Ekwonu and Cross as well. I think
Penning is going to go as well.
3. Oh yeah,
I think he might go to the Saints. Might trade up and get it. Like if Ekwonu goes here, then all the offensive line priority
does push everybody else up the board. Yeah, no, it's a good point. So the Eagles. Again, because they should not be taking an offensive lineman today. I'm sorry, even Tyler Linderbaum. I know it makes sense for the Jason Kelce.
Maybe if you trade back to 29, yeah. But
yeah, okay. But I'm not going to be happy about it. But
no.
We're going to find out here. The pick is in. I am not
And it
going to be
takes
tipping
forever.
picks, so
No, I won't even refresh Twitter.
nothing used to
until after
bother
the
me
pick
more
is
as a
made.
kid than watching the NFL Network or ESPN and seeing a guy in the green room and
Oh yeah. Well, yeah,
and
you
like
got
on the
you got
phone.
you got stumped on that a couple years ago, my friend.
I
Justin
did.
Jefferson,
You're right,
Jalen
though. They
Reagor.
did get me. I'm like, oh, that's it.
Here we go.
All right, here we go.
First pick. I'm gonna turn it up so I can.
There it is.
There it is.
All right, Trayvon Walker is the
Things
first
are off to a
overall
start,
pick.
folks. That's a Jacksonville pick if I've ever seen one.
So there goes one edge rusher from the draft. Walker from Georgia off the board. Gino.
Now it
And
starts.
that not ideal. I mean, I don't want to say not ideal for the Eagles, but especially if they want to take an edge rusher and move up, this is going to move those guys up the board because I feel like if, you know, an offensive lineman went, someone could fall down more. But now it's like if Hutchinson goes here or Thibodeau, you're going to have to get pretty high. I mean, so,
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not like Walker and Hutchinson weren't going to go within the top 4. I mean, because if not, you know, you mentioned maybe the Lions don't take one or Houston, but the Jets at 4 could take an edge too.
Mm-hmm. No, I think so as well. I mean, they don't really have that guy yet, right? Like they have John Franklin Myers, signed him into an extension. They just haven't found that cohesive edge rusher in nearly 2 decades. I could see that being the first pick. It's up in the air if they like Mekhi Becton too little there at the left tackle between I think it's him and Georgie Fetty are there, and they could go tackle there too and shore up the offensive line. But I think Joe Douglas follows the Howie Roseman mentality. We're going defensive end first, especially at pick 4. I mean, you're going to probably have your pick of the litter unless Kevon Thibodeau goes here, Lou, and then we are in worst case scenario mode already.
I think this is going to be Aiden Hutchinson. I think they're making a huge mistake if they don't take Malik Willis here. This gives me
Agreed.
2020 Justin Herbert vibes where Washington, yeah, they took Chase Young. That's a really good player, but it's not a franchise quarterback. I don't
Pick is
think.
in. They're going quick.
This is probably Hutch, right?
I want to
Thibodeau,
believe
though.
I want to believe it's your boy. I want to believe it's Malik.
What happens if it's not Malik? I have no idea where he's going to go. What if I need him to go
Houston.
inside the top 10, Gino, because I can't have the Eagles pass on Malik. Like he can't be on the board when they're there.
Oh no.
Or I'm going to lose it.
Oh no, let's not let
can't
that happen.
No, that can't happen. So
I really think if he does start to fall a little bit, Pittsburgh is
someone
key for striking range.
Maybe New Orleans, right?
Yes.
With those 2 first, they have now collecting one from the Eagles. They got 16, right? And 19.
Yes, sir.
So it could be the Saints. It could be the Falcons with a small move up. Seattle. I mean, one of those teams.
Yeah,
I think
Seattle would be wise to get Malik Willis. I don't know why there's not more talk about that. Like he doesn't play the same as Russ, but I mean, leadership, arm strength, ability to run, like it kind of matches up with the guy that you had before. And are you going to walk into a season with Geno Smith and Drew Lock as your starting quarterbacks?
I can't imagine. Unless you're just tanking for Stroud and Young next year, which is
we'll see.
Yeah. So
I hope it is him.
On the clock.
The pick is in. Their pick is in. Yep. We're going to see once Commissioner good at that. Look at this. I like the sunshine, Lou. I like the sunshine here at the draft. Makes me feel awake. Doesn't feel as dark like Radio City.
Yeah, you don't like the prime time as much?
Yeah. And I'm on Colorado time too, so I'm a couple hours behind.
All right, let's mute this up and let's take a listen. The Lions make their pick at 2.
Here we go, folks.
There it is. Aiden Hutchinson going to the Detroit Lions.
He's staying home. Made too much sense, man.
2 edge rushers go off the board in the top 2. Not
ideal
for the Eagles wanting to move up for an edge rusher. For me, not the worst case scenario because I'm more focused on corner. Gino, we could see that happen though here with the Houston Texans. This could be Sauce Gardner or Derek Stingley.
That's worst case scenario right now. Like, we are definitely in worst case scenario right.
But it wasn't
mode after 2 picks.
unexpected though.
No,
like,
it
I
wasn't.
thought those two were going most likely top 3. Detroit. I think they're making a huge mistake. I really do.
Jared Goff, like, do you believe in him that much?
Yeah,
I personally don't. I know you don't. Detroit, I mean,
maybe they plan on taking one like later on in the draft. Like maybe they think with that second pick they can get Ritter, Corral, Sam Howell. Look, Hutchinson is a really damn good player though, Gino. And two, I had to put my bias towards certain players aside for Hutchinson. Like he's not as
Michigan
long
bias.
and explosive. Well, just like in the style of player, right? I'm not saying he's Chase Winovich, but he doesn't have all the traits of a Thibodeau or a Johnson or heck, even a Jabo at Michigan was more explosive off the line.
Mm-hmm.
But the dude's a technician, like his counters, his strength, like he's going to be a damn good player. So Detroit did get a good football player here, but it's just when you need a quarterback, it just changes the perspective, I think, in the weight of it. When you pass on one, potentially that could be that Herbert, like Washington, I'm sure is regretting.
Oh, I totally agree. I would even think that Miami might be a little hesitant to say that Tua is the right pick. Like Justin Herbert probably would have been the better selection. And you got to take swings at it, though. Like at least those teams were taking swings. Are you going to be in purgatory and be a 6-11 team for now until a while? Like, yeah, your defense has got to get better, right? But, I mean, you need that one position. Like Jared Goff has proven that he can't win it. Like he proved that. He was in a Super Bowl and put up a goose egg. Like that's all the tape I need. It's like when people say like Kirk Cousins, like, oh, I got to see more Kirk Cousins. Like why? Like what more do you have to see Kirk Cousins that you haven't seen?
Did you see this tweet from Ian Rappaport? A big-time scare before the draft. Georgia's Trayvon Walker was in a serious car accident in Athens before the draft, crashing into 2 parked cars. He emerged without injury somehow. No citations, but a scare for sure.
Oh my
It's pretty
God.
crazy.
That's sketchy.
Yeah,
Don't like
that's
that
wild.
at all. Don't like that at all.
All right, Gino, the Texans are on the clock here. Again, they could do anything too. I mean, that roster has holes everywhere. So when it comes to BPA, this is a team that goes BPA. Houston.
Right. And do you value quarterback much more than you do every other position?
I think they like Davis Mills a lot, though, and Lovie Smith's their head coach, right?
But look who their GM is, Lou. Nick Caserio. Where was Nick Caserio beforehand? New England. New England is not scared to go and find their guy. Or is he like Bill?
They also, New England loves conservative, well, I shouldn't say conservative quarterbacks, say Tom Brady, but Mac Jones,
Hey, McCorkle's he's gonna get his due, bro. He was already in the playoffs. Him and Jalen.
Yeah, he already hit his ceiling. I agree.
Take us in Houston.
He's destined for the wild card. I agree.
Yes, sir. All right, final guess on Houston here. I believe that it'll probably be Derek Stingley.
I think it's going to be Aquano.
You do?
I think they're going to go
with Laramie Tunsil. You think they're going to go Equanu?
Yeah,
they got holes everywhere.
They could play right. They could play right tackle. Tunsil isn't his contract expiring soon too?
Yeah, they're probably going to move him as well.
I mean, the Eagles took Lane Johnson when they had Jason Peters.
Good point.
So
they kind of they had the presumption that he was going to be the left tackle of the future, and then
that was a talk for a year. That was a talk for years.
Yeah.
But JP said, "I'm going to play another 6 years. So,
I'm going to be 45,
7
bro.
years. Actually, I'm going to play for another." He played 7, almost another decade after they took Lane Johnson.
Right.
2020 was his last season, dude.
Talk about being proactive.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, man. Sometimes, but in fairness, it was hard to predict that. It wasn't like Jason Peters was 22.
Oh yeah, an absolute anomaly to the position. That's the thing, and Houston would be smart to go with probably the best tackle on the board right now, in Equanu. And then the Giants probably will take an offensive lineman, I would say. Carolina, have no idea there. I would say right now, Houston and Carolina are like, what's going to happen here? Because I believe the Giants will probably go offensive line, defensive line. I believe the Jets will probably take that same approach. Maybe a pass catcher there, maybe Drake London. Houston is taking the Jalen Hurts approach at quarterback and going to put as many weapons around Davis Mills and see if he can thrive. What a freaking quote, man.
Hey, man, you could try to gourmet a McDonald's hamburger all you want by putting spices and different stuff on it, but a McDonald's burger is McDonald's.
You're doing
burger.
it wrong. You got to eat spicy chicken sandwiches, bro. That's where
it nourishes you. You can get by with it, but I'm not going to Russell's. I'm not going to a steakhouse. And
no.
All right, let's hear this Texans pick. I have no idea.
All right, here we go. I'll mute up.
Damn it.
Was I right or was I right?
Damn it.
Yeah, that kind
I'm
of.
very surprised, though, that Stingley was the top pick. Like, you had him as your number one corner in our cornerback rankings, but like that 2019 film is perfect. I get it. Like, Ahmad Gardner was my cornerback one, but it was 1A, 1B. I mean, it's so close. Like, I understand this. Like, most people did not have Stingley going ahead, but I totally get it.
Now, where does Mr. Sauce, where does he end up, bro?
Might be right here with the Jets.
You think that Jets would go cornerback here?
They could.
That really throws things for
the Eagles. That's not ideal if it's edge, corner.
Yeah, it kind of feels like the Andre Dillard draft to an extent. Like the guys just kept coming off the board. The defensive lineman just kept coming off the board. You'd have to assume that offensive line goes sooner or later. You'd have to assume there's a team chomping at the bit to get Malik Willis right now. Like, why is a team not traded up for him yet is beyond me. But Derek Stingley, great pick for Houston. I believe they're gonna get.
I think he was hurt last year, and I think there was, when you put on the tape he did in 2019, and when you grade out the way he graded out this offseason with a 4.37, with the way he worked out, like in those ball skills, no way. I mean, that's a great pick, and you could have went Gardner, Stingley, but there was, to me, no gap between those two. Like, it's like Surtain and Horn last year. I'm like, I don't think you can do wrong. And
right,
even though Horn got hurt last year, he looked great with Carolina before he got hurt. So,
I totally agree with your take on that. And Derek Stingley, man, like, the kid's got swag for days. You just see that LSU chain he had on, man. Like, he's gonna go out there and he's gonna match up in a division where he probably can shut down every wide receiver there is. I mean, AJ Brown will be a great matchup for him. Like, I would love to see that for sure. But outside of that, I think he's going to come in and you might get some confidence to him right away playing in that division. I think that's a good pick. I think it's a very Bill Belichickian tree type of pick, like shut down things on the outside and let's go work on the inside after that. So, I mean, Houston, they're going to have lots of work to do on the rest of the team. But hey, that's why we're not picking 3, and the people that thought we were going to be picking in the top 5 last year seem like complete fools.
Let's hope this doesn't work out like 2014, where this board just is a disaster.
Or it's just the 2013 draft in itself, like how bad.
Like, I remember 2020, the last time the Eagles had a mid first, the board felt pretty good. Like, you're thinking, okay, they're at like pick 17, CeeDee Lamb still on the board, AJ Terrell, Clavon Chazon too, even though, but at the time, Chazon looked pretty good, or at least I liked him. The board looked pretty good. I mean, we've only had 3 picks so far, but if Gardner goes here at 4, that's not ideal because, again, the 2 spots the report is the Eagles wanted to move up for is corner and edge. So hopefully, again, I think we expected all those players to go inside the top 5. So hopefully we can get some offensive linemen sprinkled in here, maybe hopefully Malik Willis, and get at least one of those edge or Kyle Hamilton or like Jordan Davis, Jamison Williams, one of those guys to at least be in trade up range. What do you consider trade up range? Like,
I gotta say, I think I'm thinking Kenny Pickett might be the first quarterback. Like, Carolina. Loves him. Yeah,
that's such a Matt Rule thing to do.
I know it would be such a Matt Rule move. But trade up territory. Looking at the board right now, like you got Atlanta there, Seattle. Appreciate you, Matt. Appreciate you, Matt.
Now, he's been a long time listener, man. Matt's been listening since 2018.
He's been in the live streams for day 3 draft.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
A while. Yeah, the Jets pick is in, and I'm saying, like, if Kayvon Thibodeau makes it past New York, both New York teams, which I very well think he could, I don't see Carolina taking him. Atlanta potentially, Seattle potentially as well. Washington, no. Minnesota, probably not. Houston does have that second pick. So, I mean, I don't know. You got to get ahead of probably Houston again, because now with that Stingley pick, you would think that they would go defensive line unless they want to shore up the offensive line. Baltimore for sure. Minnesota, Washington, I would say let's try and get to 10. Let's try and get to the Jets pick. I think ideally that's where you want to go. I think Joe Douglas is going to get his guy right now. I think it'll probably be Icky. I think they'll shore up that interior. They got Elijah Vera Tucker there. They'll have Mekhi Becton, Georgia Fatty there. Like, they'll have their choice of what they want to do. And
number 2, they do have the 10th overall pick. So
Drake
think
London for 10.
Gardner's
That's what we got to
Gardner's
hope.
not going to be there, but an edge could be there. That's worth it. Maybe even offensive lineman. So here we go.
Ideally, offensive lineman here, offensive lineman next pick, quarterback, and then the Giants is going to be
Let's hope
sketchy.
Atlanta and Seattle go quarterback.
Oh, well, the Jets, they look pretty happy. Seems like they got their guy. They're celebrating pretty well there. Big old Joe Douglas, man. I miss the size comparison when him and Howie Roseman would come out, and it's like Jolly Green Giant next to
So
me.
they could talk about their player that had a lot of college production that would
Yep.
end up not doing much. The next level.
You had to disparage J.J. I think Whiteside on this show.
I was talking Derek Barnett too.
Oh, true.
And Donnell Pumphrey, Mr. 2,000 yards at San Diego State.
One thing I want to see too that I saw the last couple of days is that people were mad that we passed up on DK for JJ, but we also passed up on TJ Watt for Derek Barnett. Like at the time, Jim Schwartz didn't run anything that TJ Watt would have been in, and he got drafted also.
But they also didn't take Marlon
17
Humphrey.
pick. Yeah, like
I mean,
there's
Jonathan
plenty
Allen.
of guys we can address there, and I'd say TJ Watt is way down the list. Like Marlon Humphreys, we'd be him and Darius Slay. Like, do you even make that trade for Darius Slay at that point? Like, who knows? Like, you have a shutdown receiver. The Jets, I think now that you said Sauce, like,
It's gonna be Sauce.
I don't know, man. I hope it's not. I really do. Because then I think,
right.
I don't know. Mutant. Here we
Yeah.
go. All right,
Here we go.
folks. We'll be back after this.
It's not going well.
This is worst case scenario, Lou.
Not going well. Are they going to trade down from both spots?
Depends what the run on these next group of edge rushers is. I mean, cornerback out the window. Take that one and throw it away in your plans that we've had.
Yeah.
If Kayvon Thibodeau goes here, folks, I'm going to be a little upset.
I wanted Stingley or Gardner, but it's going to probably be a pipe dream. I mean, let's be real. I mean, even if they didn't go top 4, they were going inside the top.
Kyle Hamilton is still on the board, Lou.
Yeah. So here are the trade up candidates left to me for the Eagles. Kayvon Thibodeau. You've got Kyle Hamilton, Jordan Davis, Jamison Williams, right? Am I missing anybody? Those would be the candidates. If they're going to move up still, it's going to be for one of those guys.
I agree. I think Jordan Davis more than likely would be priority number 1. Talk about Jamison Williams as like a close second. I think so too. But
yeah.
if we go tackle, wide receiver.
I was gonna say the good thing now is like those corners are gone. Now it's, I mean, hopefully it's not like Hamilton, like the guys I just mentioned.
So
now you
swaggy,
need
bro.
linemen and quarterbacks to go.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
those two corners are so good, man. Damn it. I mean, you weren't gonna have a chance, but I like those two. I got more excited about them than even Horn and Surtain last year.
Hear me out on something. The Giants just declined Daniel Jones's 5th-year option today.
Ooh. Can you imagine?
Ooh, how mad
Brian
would you
Dable
be?
says, I'm going to get another raw quarterback from a small school with upside that everybody else is saying is not the guy. Don't take a chance on him. It would make a lot of sense for Dable and where he came from.
It would upset you pretty well, my friend. I know you.
Yeah, I can't play Malik Willis twice a year. And Carson Wentz, no. That is not my mental health. I am not going to watch Jalen Hurts against those two 4 times a year. Get out of here.
I think
unless we're
Malik
getting
is
a quarterback
past
next
your
year.
love of Carson Wentz, though. I think you're higher on Malik than you are.
Dude, yeah.
He's like
the only guy
Lamar
that has
Jackson
been
light.
prospect coming out of school. The only person that had my heart hot more was Lamar. That's it. He's the only guy.
Rightfully so.
I need Malik to go early though because I can't get heartbroken. I
think if Kenny Pickett goes at 6, Lou, like we might turn around things like real quick. Like I think we're onto something good there because then Malik Willis is in prime poaching territory for the Saints, for Pittsburgh, let's say. I think like from 20 to 7 is very plausible. What was it? I think the Chiefs did something like that when they picked Patrick Mahomes. I think that was around 12, 13 picks that they moved up to go and get him. So we're getting in that territory where those teams in the early 20s are going to say, okay, now it's time. Like, we can go and poach. And I think New Orleans, hopefully, Lou, if they do that, I think that takes away a big team in the mix of like somebody that might go and get the pass catcher that you don't take at 50. Or maybe even they take an offensive lineman after that, which I think could be the case, or they trade up for an offensive lineman, which trading up for Marcus Davenport, they'll do just about anything, those New Orleans Saints.
100%, man. What are you thinking here with the Giants? It's got to be maybe an offensive lineman, or
if it's Kayvon Thibodeau, I'm going to go take a lap. I'll be back in a little bit. That would be
it's probably Thibodeau or Aquanu. I would say that's my guess.
Worst freaking case scenario, man.
Pick is in.
Case scenario.
They could go receiver. Jameson Williams.
Let's get a Drake London pick. I can react like I did to Dexter Lawrence and Daniel Jones would be awesome. But I like what the Jets are doing, man. Like, they put out Zach Wilson, go grab Elijah Vera Tucker. That second pick, you got a good offensive line now.
Still got another draft pick too. Maybe you get a receiver. They've been trying to trade for Debo.
Speaking of which, it looks like he's not going anywhere. Like, he's staying put. Yeah. I mean, what pick would they want for him?
Well, let's say San Fran goes to Debo and says, we're not going to play you at running back anymore. We're going to pay you as the highest paid receiver in the league. What more is bothering him? Maybe it's Shanahan and the value he's placing on him because Shanahan thinks he can do it with anybody. I feel like that's a very Shanahan thing.
That's a Shanahan as it gets, my friend. And going back to his dad, that's very Shanahanian for sure. Does your guy, I mean, Joe Shane, get it right here for the Giants out of Buffalo? Like, very Buffalo-y picks here with 4, 5. Then you're going to go 7 and then 10. Like, all Buffalo lineage there. All Buffalo lineage. If you oh, no, why am I talking about the Jets? I think Brian Daboll and Joe Douglas are the same person sometimes. Like, they look very identical. But, look at that turncoat. Look at that turncoat sitting in the front row.
None of them look happy.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Barry there. Look at him. Just sitting there.
I'm hoping this is an offensive lineman, definitely. For you, I don't want it to be Thibodeau.
If it's Thibodeau,
you put Malik Willis in my head. I don't think it's going to actually happen, but
they don't look too pumped about whoever the hell they got, Mr. Mara.
I was going to say they look pretty. All right, man.
Is that the guy right there that had the 0 Super Bowl ring jerseys? Yeah, it is. It is. Get this guy off the screen for the Eagles. All right, here we go. Mute time. We'll be.
Yep, I know. I can tell you're still on mute.
God!
It was probably for the best for what you just said.
This is my nightmare scenario. What is happening right now?
This is not going well.
This is a nightmare. I am hating everything about this.
This has got to be Malik Willis here at 6, probably, to Carolina. 3 edge rushers and 2 corners inside the top 5.
I hate this, Lou.
So if the Eagles are going to move up now, it's for Kyle Hamilton, Jordan Davis, or Jameson Williams.
Kyle Hamilton still is on. That's the only thing that's going to make this day better for me at this point, Lou. I hate this. I hate this. I hate having to play Kayvon Thibodeau twice a year. I hate that people overthought him and took Travon Walker and allowed the New York Giants to get this man. I can't believe it. I'm over this league. I am over the NFL.
This should not be what breaks you. If
Look
this
at
was the
Kayvon,
breaking point,
man.
if you went through all of those things with the Eagles and got to this, no way. Yeah, I mean, look, again, I think we expected, maybe not in this order, but, we did most of our mock drafts. We sat tight, and these guys weren't available. So you got to have at some point these linemen, and I don't know, man. Like if Malik Willis doesn't go to the Panthers here, that's the tough part, is quarterback's not pushing other prospects down the board, make it tough when you're an average football team. And that's a huge part of why Howie Roseman dealt that pick to get a first in 2023, because he even said, even if next year doesn't have to do with quarterback, Stroud's going to go at the top. Young's going to go at the top. I'm sure a third guy will as well. That version of Trey Lance in 2023, it'll help you out. This year, the Eagles are not getting that benefit. And the positions that are going are the players that they probably want to move up for.
If Kyle Hamilton goes to Washington, Lou,
doing the rest of the stream by yourself. I'm just telling you.
I'm gone. I am gone at that point. Oh, well, all right. Let's address this pick. Kayvon Thibodeau, what he can do very well on the screen right here, like his get off is insane. Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson are going to have a very difficult time playing against this type of individual. The Giants, who crushed it last year with their edge positions and their selections, like it's only gotten better. Like they're on a roll, and we got to get it right, Lou, because teams around this division. Yeah, thank you, Nate. I appreciate that. Like this is not fun.
He wants Kyle Hamilton or Devin Lloyd. Yeah, I don't know, man. Devin Lloyd, value-wise, might be one of the best players available when we get to these picks.
If
Carolina, if they take Kenny Pickett over Malik Willis, would be so.
That's what I was just gonna say. Like if Kenny Pickett is the pick, Lou, things can kind of turn around.
This should be good because this is going to be a lineman or a quarterback. Like I think we're finally going to start getting some of these to go.
Well, if it's Kenny and not Malik, then we're even in more favorable territory.
Dude,
because I think it's what? What are you thinking? What are you scared about?
Carolina lost Hassan Riddick. What if they take Jermaine Johnson? That would suck.
Matt Rule would be an idiot.
I forgot about Jermaine Johnson. How have I not even brought him up yet when it comes to like still trade candidates? Jermaine is still on the board. That is still.
I think Jermaine Johnson's going to the Jets on their next pick. If so,
yeah. If he even falls, I could see Seattle taking him. Yeah, Atlanta could. They both need pass rush help. Oh man. So far, Trayvon Walker, Aiden Hutchinson, Derek Stingley, Ahmad Sauce Gardner, and Kayvon Thibodeau going inside the top 5. 3 edge rushers, 2 cornerbacks, 2 positions the Eagles were mocked a lot.
I can't even look at him in a Giants uniform, man.
Yeah, that's your guy, man.
My favorite Oregon Duck of all time.
Like, in fairness, is what you get for throwing that out there of Malik Willis going to the Giants. This is karma.
I knew
you put that evil on me, and you got the evil turned back.
As soon as I started to hear the nonsense about Kayvon Thibodeau having no fire and Trevon Walker's a better player, this is what we get, NFL. You did this to us. Blame it on yourselves. Philadelphia, it's us against everybody. Just remember that. Us against the world. He's got so much swag, so much potential, and his ceiling is there, and we're probably going to get an offensive line pick with Carolina here.
This is making me nervous too, Gino, because I don't want good offensive linemen falling to the Eagles. I don't want to entice tackle, though. They're not taking a taking a tackle would make any sense when you have Mailata and Lane Johnson and still in-house Andre Dillard. So maybe I shouldn't worry too much about the tackles anyway. Like, there's no way they would take one of those guys, right? No way.
Neal.
What are you going to do with him? So he can be your 4th player, your 4th tackle? Offensive line, you don't rotate. Like that would make it, see, and that's the whole thing with BPA. People that just use this black and white best player available comment or approach, like, is insane. Imagine if the Eagles did that. It wouldn't make any sense. Unless you think Lane Johnson's done in a year or two, and I don't think that.
Yeah. Lou, I think I'm putting Kenny Pickett out into the universe here. Things are going to turn around real quick for us.
Yeah. Jimmy Kempski just tweeted, I thought this was interesting. If with both elite cornerback prospects off the board and Thibodeau gone, I would not trade into the top 10 at this point. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's true because Jordan Davis and Jameson Williams wouldn't require a move up into the top 10. You just, like you mentioned, got to get in front of Baltimore probably for Davis, maybe Minnesota for Williams inside that top 11, top 12. But yeah, maybe, I don't know, as much as I love Jermaine Johnson, even moving all the way up to like this spot, although the picks in are like 7 to 10, I don't know. I do love Jermaine Johnson, though, I'll tell you that.
Atlanta, Seattle, all could take edge rushers. Giants could. Washington has no need. I don't think Minnesota has a need. I think Houston has a need. Baltimore maybe not has a need there. I think they're Jordan Davis territory for sure. They got to love how the sport's falling for them. They got to be loving it right now. I mean, that's prime territory. Carolina, Lou, what's your final guess here? This could be the first one to really throw things for a head.
I don't want to give Matt Rule much credit. He gives me a lot of Chip Kelly vibes. I feel like it's Evan Neal or Kenny Pickett. It should be, though, Malik Willis.
I think it's Kenny Pickett at the end of the day. I think Matt Rule kind of plays it safe.
I mean, I don't know how they saw what they were doing at quarterback last year, rotating Walker and Newton at times, and how bad Darnold looked in the second half of this, or before.
Why not just draft Sam Darnold's clone when you already have Sam Darnold?
Yeah, it's like, what? And that logic makes no sense. And what if not, you're gonna trade for Baker Mayfield and run it back with another 2018 bust, even though he's okay. He's a bust of a first overall pick. Just take Malik Willis, man. And it would make so much sense for the Panthers with who they had at quarterback with Cam Newton. Like, you could get that fan base behind Malik, I think, pretty quick. And Cam is the backup to Malik. Or maybe you want Malik Willis to sit behind somebody for a little bit and you bring back Cam and you move Darnold. I think that's just an ideal situation, but I don't think Matt Rule's smart enough. I just don't give him credit for that. I think it's Pickett or Neal.
I gotta just say this.
I can see it in your face.
If Malik Willis is on the board when Washington picks, do they select him?
Oh my God. Malik Willis and Carson went to the same. I'm a Washington fan at that point.
Oh my goodness, Lou. No, but I was going to say this on real terms with Malik. Like, Atlanta, real possibility. Seattle, real possibility. Carolina, I believe it's going to be Pickett. But if he gets past Atlanta and Seattle, somebody has to move up and take him. Unless there's something that we have no idea is going on behind the scenes.
Unless I just really did not read the room well and did not think someone was going to fall in love with him. I just don't know how one team does. A team fell in love with Justin Herbert. A team fell in love with Josh Allen. A team fell in love with Lamar, even though that was 32nd. You know, it's early still. It's 6. All right, let's hear what's going on here. Carolina's at the podium.
All right, here we go. Showtime. Got to protect Sam Darnold anytime you can, right?
Yeah, right. As if he's not going to run into traffic himself.
I don't get it, but I'm not a Carolina fan.
Yeah, I mean, look, Kwanu's a good player. He's the best player value-wise on the board at a position they need. One of the most important positions in football outside of quarterback. So the logic there makes perfect sense. But again, when you throw quarterback into the equation, it changes everything. And I think them in Detroit so far have made a mistake. But it's good for the Eagles, though. We needed this board to start falling with tackles going and with quarterbacks, although quarterback seems tough right now. It could start happening, though. You know, this Giants pick, maybe they trade out with a team like Pittsburgh. Maybe Atlanta takes one, maybe Seattle. But, I think we need linemen to go quarterbacks.
They can't. The Giants.
I'll let a receiver or two go too, Gino. Like, I'm okay if Jameson Williams or Garrett Wilson go off the board because I think the class is deep. And so I think you can still get a damn good one at 15 or 18 or even moving down from one of those two spots. So I'm okay with a pass catcher going too.
I am as well. I think, honestly, I have a weird inclination that, like, if the Jets do make that selection, that it's Drake London. I think that'd be very jetty of them. Like, make up for that Denzel Mims pick, right? Like, get a bigger body of that. Yeah, you talk about Jalen Reagor.
Is that a Joe Douglas pick too?
When did he go there?
2 years ago? No, I'm sorry.
It was last year. Yeah, no, so that wasn't his pick. So he's probably
2020?
2019. Jalen Reagor.
Denzel Mims was 2019? No, Reagor was 2020. Oh, so 2020.
Oh, no. So 20. Yeah, so 2020.
So that was a Douglas pick, right?
Did he leave? No,
Yeah, I think
was Zach Wilson his first selection?
I don't know. Was Joe Douglas the Jets guy? If it
All right.
was, that's too
Chad,
abysmal.
you know when Joe Douglas went to the Giants?
Let's use that
Please let us
internet.
know.
All right. The Giants are on the clock again, Gino?
2019, yeah.
2019? Okay. Yeah.
I think O-line, I think they knew that if they didn't take their edge rusher, that there could be a potential that somebody got him, or maybe even they knew that Carolina liked him. But I'm also thinking, like, if they needed the offensive line, like, why wouldn't you have taken that guy unless you know Evan Neal wasn't going to be their pick, which very well likely could be. If it's Kyle Hamilton and they walk away with Kevon Thibodeau and Kyle Hamilton within 2 selections of each other, Lou, this division is
Ooh, that's the not
fun.
good scenario here is if Hamilton goes to the Giants. I
Yeah.
want Evan Neal or heck, even again, Jameson Williams, I'm cool with if he goes off the board here, Garrett Wilson. Although I don't know what they're doing with Kadarius Toney. He's a guy that's going to play inside. They have Sterling Shepard still, right? I mean, that's a slot receiver.
They were talking about moving
might be redundant.
Slayton as well.
Yeah, there was that trade rumor there with Slayton, who the Eagles took Clayton Thorson over, by the way.
Who
just a little
can't even play in the USFL,
bit.
folks. Like,
yeah,
he's
brutal.
He is horrendous.
Yeah, so I guess offensive line is what we're rooting for here, or wide receiver.
Just not Kyle Hamilton.
Just not Kyle Hamilton.
I don't care where Kyle Hamilton goes unless it's within 2 picks of Kevon Thibodeau. Like, I'll care extremely because you're letting the Giants.
Thibodeau and Hamilton going to the Giants is just Gino nightmare fuel.
Don't even speak that into this freaking plane of existence, my friend. That's the worst thing we can have. But Brian Daboll, Lou, I'm sure coming from that system, seeing what the wide receivers could do, and hearing what they have been talking about at wide receiver in terms of moving guys, I think Garrett Wilson is a very good possibility. I mean, you got to think about who else they have there. Like Kenny Golladay is a bigger body. Do they want to get out from him the next couple of years? Then maybe you go Drake London. I think it is a pass catcher because if they are going to stick with Daniel Jones, just like every other young quarterback, you have to protect him. But their offensive line was abysmal, like absolutely abysmal.
Yeah.
I think
got to be Evan
I think
Neal
they go
or
Evan Neal.
This got to be Cross.
Yeah, Charles Cross is a very
Cross could be it too.
I thought Charles Cross might have been the Carolina pick because they were rumored to have loved him. I think that was probably if Icky would have gone earlier than they expected. I think they probably walked away with saying, "Yeah, we got Icky. Like that's our guy. Like we got our premier left tackle now." The Giants need somebody. All right, here we go. They're up at the podium. We'll be. Called that one, brother. Now things are settling down a little bit. Now we're back. Now we're back on
offensive lineman. Let's get one quarterback here from Atlanta or
quarterback
Seattle,
is
right?
what
Can we get one? What other positions do you think for these? Jermaine Johnson's probably going though with one of these 2 picks. I would say
Jermaine
one of those
Johnson
2
might be
teams
the
are
Jets
taking
pick
Jermaine.
if he goes there. If not, the board might be falling a little better than we expected if he doesn't go.
Yeah, if he doesn't go within these next 2 picks, I'm still in on trading up because you got Jermaine Johnson on the board, Kyle Hamilton, Jordan Davis, and Jameson Williams. That's still 4 players that are worth moving up.
So we got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 7 picks. Baltimore, probably Jordan Davis, right?
Yeah.
Who knows with Minnesota? You'd have to think Atlanta or Seattle is taking Malik Willis. Like I would believe that. And if not, and they go edge rusher and they're really willing to go into the season with the quarterbacks that they have, love Marcus Mariota, like just go Ducks, folks. But goodness, I don't know how you're gonna try and move forward with him. And you got to rebuild a lot of those things in that franchise. Quarterback is a great start. Seattle probably less likely due to having 2 of them with Drew Lock, with Geno Smith. I mean, whatever your plan wants to be. But Atlanta, you only got Marcus really for 1 year. It is a 2-year deal. Most of it's guaranteed this year. I believe that he would go to Atlanta. And we better hope he goes to Atlanta. And if Kyle Hamilton falls and the Eagles don't get him and Washington gets him, Yeah, I think Malik Willis or Garrett Wilson are too good.
They need a receiver so bad. Oh my gosh. Who's their number one? Kyle Pitts is the tight end, so you can't say him. Cordell Patterson's a running back.
I think it's
Russell Gage is gone too. He went to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Russell Gage is gone. I think wide receiver has to be the move.
Yeah,
I do too.
Our viewers are in agreement here. That's good for the Eagles. I'll take that. Garrett Wilson going right here. Had him mocked in our ultimate mock draft with Locked On to 18. He's not falling that far though.
No way, man. We kind of got that.
Atlanta
right.
though with Malik Willis, that'd be so good. Michael Vick, the vibe there, I just think would be pretty cool if Malik Willis was in Atlanta. He grew up a Falcons fan too, I think.
I mean, how could you not?
That just would be perfect.
I think it was Thor Nystrom on our show that said that the only comparable player of any draft to Malik Willis is the left-handed Malik Willis, Michael Vick. Like,
oh yeah,
that's what I mean. The only
I knew what you meant. Yeah,
Malik is that Michael Vick, and
because Lamar stylistically, mobility-wise, matched Vick, but Malik Willis' arm power though, with Vick, that power ball, he can, that
Lamar,
definitely is Vic.
Lamar hunts more ducks than Oregon, like he's just throwing up quackers all the time.
All right, relax. This is a former MVP we're talking about. That last year, by the way, was throwing it really damn well before he got hurt.
Oh, I know. Hollywood Brown too. I was wrong on him. If we could go back. We should have taken Hollywood.
I was gonna. Yeah, that's true. That's one of those. But there was a lot of receivers in 2019 you passed up on. So.
No kidding, dude. No kidding.
At least you didn't take N'Keal Harry. I mean,
you think there's any later player trades? Like once we get to day 3, that's when you might see hey, here's Jalen Reagor for a
if you can get anything, I'll take it. If you can even again find some other cast off that was a former top pick. I'm not sure what you're doing at receiver in this draft, but if Jacksonville gives you Laviska Shenault for Reagor, I'd still do that kind of move.
Oh, yeah.
But I think the Eagles are going to take a receiver with one of these top 3 picks. So, LaShawn McCoy just tweeted out, "We taking Kenny Pickett." I hope you're not talking about the Eagles.
Who else would he be talking about, Lou?
Buffalo. I was joking.
Tampa Bay.
Dude, you brought the Carolina thing up about taking Pickett over Willis. If the Eagles did that, oh my gosh. I don't want to think about that.
My resignation in my 2 weeks was submitted 2 weeks ago, if that's the case. Lou, rewind what you just said. Rewind what you just said and pretend you never said it.
Yeah, I'm getting stressed out just thinking about it.
Oh my!
Let's see what Curtis said. It's going to end up being. Oh, what's up, Curtis?
Yeah, I think McDuffie with most Daniel Jeremiah and McDuffie.
That's not horrible. I mean,
no, and especially with Andrew Booth's medicals.
Yeah,
I told you to think about Kyer being potentially the 4th cornerback taken. Drop out Andrew Booth from that 5, and Trent McDuffie's that guy.
Yeah, Jordan Davis. Again, I don't really love the idea of defensive tackle, but again, Jordan Davis is a different story. Again, he's a unicorn at that position. You take that player if he falls, or if you make a small trade up. See what Atlanta does here. Perfect.
Perfect. No. Oh, no. Oh, our guy at Locked On Falcons right now is not going to be happy. He was tweeting about this being the worst case scenario. Aaron Freeman, I am so sorry, my friend.
That's perfect for the Eagles. They take a receiver, and it's not one that I would have wanted to take. So the last 3 picks, Gino, we're bouncing back here a little bit. We're at pick 9. We got 6 picks before the Eagles are on the clock. Jermaine Johnson still on the board. Kyle Hamilton still on the board. Jameson Williams and Jordan Davis. Those are 4 players. Can we get one of them to slip without even trading up? Or maybe just a small move up in front of Baltimore?
Kyle Hamilton is still on the board. Kyle Hamilton is still on the board, Lou. Probably many people's top overall player. And we're 6 selections away.
Yep.
It might be a couple fewer than that. We'll see. Seattle. I would have to believe they probably go edge rusher. If they think that they're going to stick with the quarterbacks that they have good wide receivers. Maybe offensive line. Charles Cross could be a potential. They're now without Dwayne Brown, who is not re-signed there.
Yeah, I think Joe Douglas is going to steal one of our guys for sure at 10. One of these next two are going to take one. I think Seattle or New York are coming away with Jermaine Johnson or Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah.
Well, Seattle's not. They got Jamal Adams, so that would not make sense to me. But yeah, I think the Jets are going to take one, and it could go Johnson Hamilton. We'll see. I think I don't know, man. I don't know where Malik Willis is going now. This is going to happen. Like, the Eagles are going to pass on him. Ugh.
Lou, your nightmare scenario might be coming true.
Yeah.
I
was prepared for it. I wasn't prepared, though, for him to be skipped over their pick. I thought he was going to go early, so we wouldn't even have to address this. But it's very much like Justin Fields last year. They could have took him. And
maybe
what's up?
Maybe Houston takes him. They're like, we needed our corner.
I just thought that too, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Because
this is trade up range now, too, for like Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin, go get your guy. Like, we know Willis is your guy. Go get him.
I know. I'm just about to tell my Steelers buddy that.
I would love that. If he's not on the Eagles, I'd love to see Malik Willis versus Lamar 2 times a year. I'm just scared, man. And again, Justin Fields right now, the start wasn't great, but you know, the more years that go by that you pass on quarterbacks, the more times you're going to have to look back and say, we skipped over 2 guys that are top tier and we didn't get our, again, there's still time, and you got the 2023 class and you got Jalen steps forward, but just it gets more nerve wracking the more and more you pass up on guys with that kind of upside. So
I know, man. I know. I really think like now
Curtis Willis is going to be on the board at 15. I'm going to sweat. Yeah.
If it is the pick, though, that would be wild. What's going on?
What's up, Peter?
How we doing, folks? Appreciate y'all tuning in.
Yeah, everybody. Thank you so much for checking it out.
Yes, and we will
hanging out with us all night.
Also, giving away the Hassan Reddick jersey tonight.
That's right.
We'll spin that soon enough, and somebody will be walking away with a nice Hassan Reddick jersey.
Maybe that'll be a good mood changer when they take Wyatt and Karlaftis.
See, you keep.
I know you like Karlaftis. I was waiting for.
I love the kid, man. I really do. Like, he is what people thought you were going to get in Derek Barnett at 14, but he's an incredibly better athlete. Like, way better athlete. Like, he's just turned 21, tested through the absolute moon, production off the charts. If you took Derek Barnett, I would not bat an eye at taking George Karlaftis at
Derek Barnett should not say we took him, so we should do something like that again. What do you mean? Like, no, Barnett's not a reason to do something.
No, obviously,
again.
But I'm saying in that territory, like for edge rushers, like I'm not saying the Eagles are going to take him. I think if a team did take him in that territory, I wouldn't bat an eye at all. Like if Seattle took him here, would make this is the pick where things are going to get crazy because Seattle stinks at drafting in the first round. Has been perennially. LJ,
yeah, they're all over the place. Ooh. Jordan Brooks the other year, linebacker from Texas Tech. They did another one too. Oh, Rashad Penny.
This is a tweet from somebody I used to work with at All 22. She used to be one of my scouting assistants. She's a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I said, things are starting to look better for the Eagles. And she just quote tweeted and said, just started breathing for the first time in 65 minutes. And I'm kind of that way as well. Like that was a rough first stretch there when the 2 edges go, the cornerbacks go, and then we knew the tackles were going to come off the board soon enough. And it's kind of started to settle in a little bit here.
I hope Nate is right that the Jets go wide receiver.
I do too. I think they really wanted Drake London. I believe that they really wanted Drake London, and they're kind of.
Can we get Willis to go here and then Garrett Wilson? That'd be an ideal next 2.
I just keep.
And then suddenly you bounce back, from those first 4 nightmare picks to the last 5 being offensive linemen, receivers that you probably weren't going to pick anyway, and a quarterback like that. That could be the best way this pans out.
I keep seeing Washington, and I know that Kyle Hamilton is out there, and.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I still think a small trade-up for the Eagles is coming. I still think if we get past the Jets yeah, it's true. Washington's not going to deal with you, right? Because they probably want a lot of the same players.
Oh, yeah. Washington is 100% not.
Maybe Houston. Although the report was they were looking to move up.
Yeah, from 13. Yeah.
Yeah.
I for sure think that 18 is movable at this point again. Or 19 now. Right? No, we have 18.
No, you're right. 18.
Got 19. That's going to be confusing.
They gave up 16 and 19, and they got 18. Let's see here from Nate. Will Washington take Jermaine Johnson? They're pretty set on the edge with
Yeah.
Sweat and Young. I would say no. I think Washington's a scare for players we want.
I think Malik Willis could be a Washington Commander. I believe.
What's up?
I think Malik Willis could be a Washington Commander. That's a
I don't know how I would feel about that. Wentz and Willis. That's my guy on my guy crime.
Wouldn't be too happy about it. That's for sure.
Do you think he? Yeah.
It's like, I just had Jalen Hurts. I just got out of there. I go to Indy, lay an egg, and then
would that be the nail in the coffin for him that he is now with Goff as like a bridge quarterback? If they took Willis, that might be all she wrote.
Oh yeah, wrap it up.
But you're not trading multiple thirds probably for that. No way.
Who knows? Washington's Washington, man. Daniel Snyder's Daniel Snyder.
Minnesota should do it. That's another team. I know they just committed to Kirk Cousins, but Minnesota should be taking Malik Willis.
Get him out of the NFL, dude. Like, for sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They absolutely could, Lou. I believe Seattle could. I believe Washington could. I believe Minnesota could. I believe Houston could. And then after that, see, that's why it's like, do these teams know that none of those teams are going to take Malik Willis? And like, does Pittsburgh be like, oh, yeah, we're just going to wait and get him at 20? Like, that would be a real shame if that was the case.
All right, Gino, pick is in here. Let's hope it's a quarterback or another offensive lineman. That would be ideal. That pretty much guarantees you even a good player if you say
Devin Lloyd, they take another linebacker? That would be great if so.
All right, I'm going to mute. There we go, man. This is ideal.
I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll,
Three
my
offensive
friend.
linemen.
I'm on a roll. I'm getting all these guys right now. Charles Cross, no Dwayne Brown. Makes all the sense in the world.
Should we stay up or stay put? Let's see. So we got the Jets, Washington, Minnesota, Houston, Baltimore. So 5 picks. We've got Jermaine Johnson still on the board. Excuse me. Kyle Hamilton, Jameson Williams, Jordan Davis, Garrett Wilson. Gino, I'm staying put. I think I'm staying put. Unless there is a guy that you really want, like if you badly want Davis or Hamilton and want to guarantee it, or Jameson Williams, okay. But I am okay with one of those 5. So I would stay put.
I would too. I'm totally on board with you there. I also don't know who's really going to be in the market to trade with you right now. I mean,
right.
I believe the Jets are going to make their pick. I believe Washington is going to take their guy. Minnesota's probably going to take their guy. Houston, maybe, if you want to get ahead of Baltimore for Jordan Davis. But, like, right now, there's 4 guys that I'm taking, and there's 5 selections left before we get there. So we got an 80% chance to
get bounce back, man. Okay, we bounced back pretty good here.
That was rough, bro. That was rough.
That was brutal to start. Most of our viewers are agreeing. Stay put. Peter, stay put.
I'm there with you guys. I think Garrett Wilson, Jameson Williams.
Yeah, this is probably a receiver. Or Jermaine Johnson. It's one of the 3.
Yeah, if it's JJ, then I think you're kind of just staying put at that point. Like, I don't think they're going to move assets.
Man. I'm sorry to keep bringing up Wilson. I just want him gone. I want him off the board. Because I want to be able to enjoy the pick they make. And it's going to be – I'm still gonna do it, but – you guys, just to know deep down inside, I'm going to be hurting.
My soul's been broken since that Giants pick.
Ooh, here's a good question. So Sean brings up, I know I'm in the minority here, but I'm taking Williams over Hamilton. So yeah, Gino, of those 5 players we just mentioned, rank the guys you would want in the order. So Jermaine Johnson, Jordan Davis, Jameson Williams, Kyle Hamilton, Garrett Wilson.
Kyle Hamilton is
1.
Probably my number 2 player on the board in this draft. So 100% number 1. Jameson
Jordan
Williams,
Davis, 2?
2.
Oh, Jameson Williams, 2. Okay.
I really believe, like, unless you trade up, you're not going to get Jordan Davis at this point. But I would put him and JMO on the same page, like plane. I'd say they're number 2, and then the other 2 guys right after that. Maybe JJ a little more than Garrett Wilson.
I would go. I would probably agree. Hamilton 1. I would say Jermaine Johnson 2.
I just
Jordan
Kyle
Davis
Hamilton
3.
in Washington. I just don't.
Jameson Williams 4. Garrett Wilson 5. No, Garrett Wilson 4. Jameson Williams 5. Wilson was my wide receiver 1. I'll stick with that.
Who's going to get Malik Willis? Like, New Orleans should move up right now. The Pittsburgh should move up right now. I mean, after Malik Willis at this rate, Lou, could be a second-round draft pick. He's not going to be. Somebody's going to trade up and get him.
The Jets pick is in. What's your prediction? I'll say Jameson Williams.
I'd have
Zach
to believe,
Wilson a deep threat.
I'd have to believe they go wide receiver. They could definitely go Jermaine Johnson. I won't be shocked either.
Yeah.
I'm there.
I don't think it's going to be Garrett Wilson with Elijah Moore playing a lot inside. Not to say Williams is a slot dependent receiver. I mean, but and Elijah Moore really isn't either.
What about Chris Olave for them right here?
That'd be wild. But I wouldn't be surprised. Drake London went off the board. This receiver group, we knew like who was good and like it was deep, but there never really was a consensus wide receiver 1. Gino, really at all these positions, there wasn't like it's crazy. This year, was there a position that you said this is the clear top guy? Maybe Kyle Hamilton at safety.
Yeah, Kyle Hamilton.
That's it. Yeah. Like receiver, no. Corner, Derek Stingley went over Gardner.
Yeah.
Edge rusher, Walker went over Hutchinson. Linebacker,
would you be shocked if Devontae Wyatt went over Jordan Davis at this point?
I mean, maybe that's like the second closest one is Davis at defensive tackle, but
probably running back, which we never talked about with Breece Hall for sure.
Yeah,
but I totally agree with you there.
But I could see if somebody took James Cook over Breece Hall, I wouldn't bat an eye.
No, I think when you look back at like all the discussions that we had, if Hamilton's gonna go, I want it to be to the Jets right here. Like, I hope to goodness it is.
Oh, here we go. We got the Jets pick.
All right, brother. See you on the other side of this. Good call, my friend. Good call, my friend.
Yep.
I think
we've a lot of speed and separation with Wilson and Elijah Moore on that offense.
I think we've been more spot on with the second half of this top 5. Yeah. Like what's going to happen and should have happened.
So you got Jermaine Johnson still on the board, Jordan Davis, Jameson Williams, Kyle Hamilton.
We're going to get one of them.
4 picks in front. So one of those guys.
I hope that this pick is not Kyle Hamilton. That's all I'm saying.
Actually, all of those guys could not be available. We just need one other player to go in front of those 4 guys. And we can just get one of those 4 guys, I'm in.
Malik Willis is going to be on the board unless Houston takes him.
Oh, my God. There's still time to change your mind. There is still time. You could get your franchise quarterback with as much upside as anybody for the price of nothing. You could sit there and take him and have 2 firsts next year, 2 seconds the year after. Smarten up. Please. Yes. Like, there's still time.
Hammer the narrative, baby. Hammer the narrative. I love it. I love it. I love the force behind it, man. Like, I would be,
if I was in that war room right now, I'd be screaming at the top of my lungs.
How we get the freaking quarterback, man. Yeah. They have to take Lou out of there. But yeah,
I don't want to watch any more Will Levis film. I'm done.
Yeah. Dude, wide receiver, Jameson Williams. Not the first, not the second.
Yeah.
Remember this discussion that Daniel Jeremiah brought up probably about a month ago, that the Chiefs love Jameson Williams. And he said who would be the perfect trade partner with them? The Philadelphia Eagles. So stay tuned. This is going to get wild. This is going to get wild, Lou. Like,
I'm feeling better though, man. I feel like no matter what, they're going to get a pretty good player. I for a minute there, I'm like, oh man, do they need to move out of 15?
This ain't 2013, bro. This ain't 2013. Yeah. We're well beyond that. We are well beyond that one. And Washington is up now. I mean, what do they do?
Yeah, this could be Kyle Hamilton. I don't think this is Jermaine Johnson.
Do they go pass catcher with the?
Yeah, they could try to say let's do
Barry,
McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, and Jameson Williams for Carson Wentz. Like, let's give Carson the support system receiver wise that he's never had, or the best one he's had.
New Orleans is on the clock. New Orleans is on the clock.
That's
Here we
Malik
go.
Willis.
Malik Willis, 100%. It's got to be.
Yep.
It's got to be. So they're not getting Kyle Hamilton. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Lou. Washington's not getting Kyle Hamilton. We are cooking. We are cooking, folks.
All right. I mean, look, I hate that he's not going to be the Eagles quarterback, but this makes me feel a lot better. Now I can focus on the task at hand, and you can stop listening to me rant about a player that most of you guys didn't want anyway.
Trade. I got to keep track of trade somewhere. I have to have this information. Trade. So they just moved. Wow, they only gave up one of the firsts. Very intriguing. Very intriguing. So what? They probably gave a couple thirds, I would guess. So NO to 11. And what did they give up for 16? Mm-hmm. And we'll find out after that. That's got to be quarterback. I mean, this is...
All right, so we're guaranteed one of those guys now.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Kyle Hamilton at 15? Oh my gosh, and then they don't take him?
No. If Kyle Hamilton is on the board at 15 and they don't take him, Lou, I'm smashing my computer. Both of them. I have two right here. I'm going to smash them both.
It's so Eagles, though, to pass up on the receivers, the edge rusher.
Secondary, no matter what.
Or Jordan Davis.
Secondary, no matter what. We said it from the beginning. Secondary, no matter what. And they traded up to get Peyton Turner, too, last year. I completely forgot about that.
The Saints are avenging their mistake in 2018, though. They traded up. Everybody's like, this is Lamar Jackson. And it was Marcus Davenport. And you can make the case at the time it made sense because you had Drew Brees, a win-now mode. You know, you could argue that. But, Gino, when they made that trade with the Eagles in the first place, you know, it was like, you're giving up future first-round picks, and you don't have your quarterback guaranteed. Like, this has to be for a quarterback. And there it was. It was for a quarterback. To me, it was the only logical thing. Even 2018 didn't make much sense, but you could rationalize it with Brees and House. This had to always be the move for New Orleans.
Had to, man. Like, you weren't going to walk into the season with just Jameis. Like, you were not. And Taysom Hill, that whole thing kind of blew up in their face, wouldn't you say? And if this is a quarterback or a position other than quarterback, Lou, the New Orleans Saints are on one. They are on one if that is the case. And they still have another
Imagine if this is not a quarterback. I'm like assuming I haven't even seen the pick yet.
Yeah, I mean, what if it's Kyle Hamilton? Like,
that would be wild.
Come on, they can't trade up and not know who they're getting. Also, is this not moving very fast? Like, I feel like this is just like
it's only 9:20 and we're already at pick 11.
Yeah, they probably started at like 8:10,
which is good. I got a flight at 5 a.m. tomorrow.
That's all right. You'll be too juiced after they.
I'm not going to sleep. I'll be writing Fox 43 articles, doing a million things.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about this whole freaking draft for weeks after this, and especially if things play out here in the next 4 picks like we hope. And if this is Malik Willis, if it's maybe a wide receiver that they really covet, which would be shocking to me, I think the Eagles are going to get one of their guys that they wanted all along. I think.
Yeah. Without moving up, man.
Yeah.
Without moving up.
And that was the one thing that I really was worried about, was that, like, you gave away that extra first, but then you wanted to give up more assets this year to move up. It's like, I don't want to walk away with only 7 picks. Like, you need at least 9 or 10. And I wasn't comfortable giving up yet another high pick to go and do that, in my personal opinion.
So the Saints traded the 3rd round pick at 98 overall and a 4th 120 to move up to 11. Washington moves down to 16.
So look at what the Eagles would have had to give up. They would have probably had to give up 101 and 103 or whatever one they're at in the 3rd, and then pick 124. I'm okay not giving that up, man. Like, give me my premium top 100 picks all day long and take the best player available that's going to be on your board here.
What if this isn't Willis, though? Oh, my God.
That nightmare fuel begins to begin again for you. I would have to assume Jermaine Johnson goes to Houston, maybe Minnesota. I don't know what they're doing there. Like, that's the one pick that I'm so up in the air on, of like what they are going to do. They could absolutely go wide receiver. Just kidding. They have Justin Jefferson.
The Saints could go receiver here. Maybe they moved up a few spots to go get Williams or Olave. And
Saints-esque move, man. It's a very Saints-esque move. And with the uncertainty of Michael Thomas, like that's where they're at as a franchise. Like they have a lot of question marks on offense when they didn't in the past. Defense for them is pretty solid. I mean, they invested in Peyton Turner, Marcus Davenport. You got Cam Jordan. They have a pretty good defensive front. You got Marcus Lattimore on the back end. Could they take Kyle Hamilton? I don't know. Here we go. See you on the other.
This is taking forever. Just announce it.
Like Tony Gonzalez is on the stage when New Orleans is up. Like kick him while they're down. Come on. Austin Eckler, also fan-controlled football owner, left the team that he owned last year to own a new team this year. I would never do that to my FCF beasts. Just know that, folks. I stay with my teams. Oh, come on, Tony.
Gino, the Lions are moving up to 12. So this might not be Willis.
Hello.
Detroit traded 32, 34, and 66 for 12 and 46. That is for Malik Willis.
It's got to be.
Quarterback. Let's see the Saints pick.
That's got to be a quarterback. You think they were making calls to teams inside?
What is New Orleans doing, dude?
They took Olave, man. They did 2018 again.
So Malik,
they passed on Lamar and Malik now, man. That's
so
wild.
It's got to be Malik Willis for Detroit. It has to be.
Dude, I don't know. Someone just said they think it's for Jameson Williams.
Who, Detroit?
Ben Solak just said he thinks it's for Jameson Williams.
What if that were the freaking case? 3 wide receiver in a row. Why are they moving first?
Dude, yeah.
I don't.
The Eagles are going to have their pick of like 3 of those guys we talked about.
Man. We're close. And that's
I wish it was Hamilton.
That's confirmed. The Detroit trade, 100%.
Yes. Yep. And a lot of people are saying it's going to be for Jameson Williams.
If so, man, Houston should definitely take Malik Willis. Or you are in some trouble, my friend.
two trade ups for teams that need quarterbacks, and it's not for Malik Willis.
Nope. That's wild.
Both for receivers. I guess it makes sense, though, with the league. You see how receivers are moving around. Mm-hmm. To have a guy on a cost-controlled 5-year deal with that kind of talent makes sense.
It makes all the sense in the world. I think that's kind of the avenue that things are going to go.
Especially
And
if you're the Saints and you're trying to still see if Winston can be the guy. I mean, the Saints wide receiver 2 history the last 5 years has been, since Brandon Cooks, has been horrible.
oh, absolutely. And I mean, Jameson Williams, if he's the pick, this wide receiver group went way quicker than we expected. Yeah, that Detroit definitely traded. They are up on the graphic there. This has to be Malik Willis, dude.
Dude,
I would be shocked if it's not Malik Willis.
It doesn't look like it is.
Well, if not, I mean, the Eagles are 2 picks away from potentially changing.
So let's say it
franchise.
is Jameson Williams. Hamilton's on the board, Davis, Johnson. Yeah, those 3.
Yeah, so you're going to get one of
with 2 picks left. So you'll get one.
Yeah, you'll get one of the 3. Or you take Kenny Pickett, like you said.
No, Shady needs to. If he spoiled Iron Man and Endgame and that's what it is, I'm blocking Shady forever. And my 2 jerseys gone.
Throw them in the trash at that point, man. The Saints are wild, though. I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, Olave's a good player. Outside of Williams, probably the second best deep threat in this class. But you did that in 2018 too. I mean, learn your lesson, and it's a player very similar at the quarterback position.
Super similar.
I mean, how do you not regret that? I'm getting texts, not so fast, Lou.
On what?
On Willis, because I've been tweeting out this is Willis, and then I was like, oh wait, this is Willis, and none of them are Willis.
If I'm not moving up 2 first-round selections to go get Jameson Williams to have Jared Goff throw to him. Oh, Philadelphia is up next. They just moved up, Lou.
They just traded up
to 13.
So they just moved up 2 spots.
Yes, with Houston. In front of Baltimore to probably get Jordan Davis.
Right?
You'd have to believe. All right, that's 3 trades, Lou. That over. You better have hammered that, folks. Better have hammered that.
Gotta be for Jordan Davis, Jermaine Johnson, or Kyle Hamilton, I think.
So let's see what Philly gave up. That'll be interesting. So they moved up they gave up 15. We'll see for.
I'm trying to look for trade details.
Houston's 13.
Good morning from Scotland, boys. Just in time, my man.
Hell yeah.
Tony. The Eagles are on the clock at 13.
The boys. We're there, man. We're about to be there. We're here, bro. Hey, let's just take it in for what these next couple minutes are going to be, dude. It's going to be very interesting.
The board got a lot better. You know, you got a couple receivers that went that you didn't really – I not say you didn't want, but at 15, I wasn't expecting Drake London or Chris Olave. Mm-hmm. You got 3 linemen off the board. You're going to get a damn good player here. Gino, I think it's probably going to be for Jordan Davis. I really want it to be Kyle 100%.
Hamilton.
I just think it's really tough to pass on a safety like Kyle Hamilton, even though Davis is that guy and he's a spectacle. Like, people are not built that way. But, I mean, maybe it's for neither. Maybe it's for Jermaine Johnson.
Oh, here we go, Detroit. Here we go. Here we go.
Williams.
Here we go, Lou. Here we go, baby. Let's take this in for what it's worth, guys.
All right. Final predictions. I think they traded up for Jordan Davis. I want this to be Malik Willis or Kyle Hamilton. I think it's going to be for Davis, though.
It's got to be Jordan Davis. It has to be. This has to be Jordan Davis. I'm tweeting this as we speak. This is kind of what I expected when we talked about this exact scenario of Jordan Davis being that pick, is that the Philadelphia Eagles were probably going to have to get ahead of Baltimore because they run a very similar scheme on defense. Philadelphia Eagles, Fletcher Cox, we don't know his future, just on a 1-year deal.
Oh, I got the trade details, by the way.
Okay, give it to me, brother.
The Eagles traded a 4th and 2/5 to move to 13 from 15.
4th and 2/5.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Okay, they'll probably recoup those. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Oh, man, what a journey this has been to get to this pick.
Yep. It's going to be Jordan Davis, man.
It's got to be Jordan Davis.
Yeah.
And imagine trying to block that defensive line.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And okay, I'm okay with as long as you did it, you took the unicorn, give me the safety soon at least.
Then we're moving back.
Get me a DB. Move back, take Jaquan Brisker, maybe at 18 Gino. Again, they have another pick. You could still get Kyle Hamilton. This is
if
Jordan
he
Davis.
lasts to 18, dude, I would be shocked, but we'll see.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be Jordan Davis, and it makes all the sense in the world.
I think so. Or
Rain
Davis.
Johnson, though, is still on the clock, too. I'm surprised all these guys fell.
We were in worst case scenario mode for a minute. We're out of it now. We're on the greener pastures at this point. But where does Malik Willis go?
I don't know. Pittsburgh might just get him in their lap, or maybe New Orleans. No, because if New Orleans if you want the guy and you move up and you pass on him, that's not your guy.
Yeah, I would be so hard pressed to believe that this is anybody other than Jordan Davis. Baltimore was there. You moved ahead of them. He's still on the board. Teams behind you, I mean, they could use him. Chargers could use him. Jerry Tillery really hasn't panned out to that extent. New Orleans could use him on that back end. Pittsburgh could even use Jordan Davis. And we'll see, man.
Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, Milton Williams. That's...
Well, look out, folks.
And Cox is only out a 1-year deal. He's going to be gone soon. Hargrave, you're going to give an extension to. Jordan Davis is going to be that second guy long term with Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat on the edge. I get it. In this team, they take linemen. It's what they do. Again, I wouldn't have forced it this year, but Jordan Davis is the one player I said that if you were going to go with these positions, that's the one guy, at least at defensive tackle, that you do it for.
Pick is in. The graphic is up. Every show that we've done until this point in the last 3 months came down to this pick. And I think we are in a territory where we kind of address this as exactly how it's going to be. I think defensive line, pass catchers went way faster than we expected. So we kind of knew that was out of the equation. So did the cornerbacks. But now you're in territory where you can get Kyle Hamilton or Jordan Davis, and I will be completely okay with either of them. I'll be sad if it's not Kyle, but hey, it's not the first draft that I've missed out on a safety.
And there's still a chance, man. There's still 18.
Oh, yeah. We could trade back, take Lucine. I mean,
Jackson Hill, Jaquan Brisker.
We'll see, brother. We'll see. We're right here. Just make the pick. Don't go to commercial, please. Did they go to commercial? Yeah. Now we got to wait till they get back from commercial. Oh, I hate this, and I'm not going on Twitter. There's no way I'm having that tip pick. No chance. No chance. And to say that Jordan Davis fell all this way.
Yeah. You were right, though. They had to get in front of Baltimore.
They had to. Had to have. And I would like to believe that they kind of want payback for missing out on Marcus Williams, that they go get Kyle Hamilton. But, hey, I believe it's going to be Jordan Davis, and that'll be good enough for me. Stick with SEC, man. SEC with the 2 first-round picks back-to-back years. They kind of changed their tone on that, if that's the case.
Yeah.
First-round pick since 2017, Jalen Reagor. You wish it was Justin Jefferson, man.
Oh, man.
Just watching Pizza Hut commercials. I hate it.
Yeah. People are not happy with the commercials right now.
UK on commercials, too, yeah. Bunch of commercials, man. Yeah, I get it. This is brutal.
I get why people tip picks on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the pick is in. People know. The card's already in. We're just waiting for millionaires to make more millions by showing these commercials, right? Don't go on Twitter, dude. Don't do it. Do not do it. Stay off.
Oh, man. It's got to be Jordan Davis. Let's take a look at his numbers.
I'd have to believe.
Jordan Davis.
Only ran
I don't think he's... What's his career sack total? Oof. 2.5.
Yeah, but what they're going to have him do is he's going to be a 2-gap penetrator and allow everybody else to really do everything else. And he ran a 4.68. Like, that's banana land for a guy of that size.
Yeah.
Like, he's a unicorn. And
he can rush the passer, but the way he can move, I mean, he's not just
yeah.
some stuck in the ground nose tackle.
And he's not gonna two gap. Like, he might at times when he's lined up over the center where they want him to go both ways with it, but he's going to be more gap and a half style player. And I think Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave should be very happy people if that is the pick. And I think it's going to be, and I'm going to be happy with it. Big old unicorn, man. That's a lot of mass to try and defend on the interior. Like, their stunt game is going to be out of control with the athleticism and just physical toughness and play strength that all of those guys have.
100%. I'm trying to, again, remove the quarterback part of this and just take a look at, like, you know, the actual options outside of that.
Ahead of Baltimore from Malik Willis, that's for sure.
No.
They already got their version. Oh my goodness, these commercials. I cannot stand it. That's why you tune into shows like this, because we just run it. We just keep talking. Our live draft show over at Locked On Podcast Network, which Lou and I will be appearing on at some point. We'll be there. But the Eagles pick is in. They just came back from commercial. Jordan Davis, Lou, is that the final pick, you think?
Yeah, I think it's Davis.
Here we go, brother. We'll see. Get Roger Goodell up there. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, on the other side.
Sees these drone photos. Let's go. Every day it's that first listen. That's right. This is dreadful. I hate everything about this. Wait. Here we go. Oh, more talking about nonsense. Here we go.
All right, here we go. All right, man. There it is. All right, Gino, go jump on the Locked On show. He's going to go react to the pick. The Philadelphia Eagles have selected Jordan Davis with the 13th overall selection. And I don't know how I'm feeling right now. I'm pretty conflicted because I can't ignore, again, passing up on, to me, a franchise-altering player. You know, again, that's just like quarterback's a huge part of it. But at the same time, if we're going to remove that, kind of like last year with Devontae Smith, I am very happy with the player they got. The value of Jordan Davis for giving up a couple of day 3 picks for, again, a unicorn at that position is, it makes sense. And again, yeah, like you had Kyle Hamilton there. He's more of an immediate need at a position at safety that you could use a whole lot more. And, you know, Jermaine Johnson, I love his ability as an edge rusher. But, you know, a defensive tackle, I will say, defensive tackle might make more sense than edge because, you know, Fletcher Cox is going to be gone after a year, if you ask me. And who knows still what you have in Milton Williams. So edge, you at least have Riddick and you have Josh Sweat locked up for 3+ years. So you have two core pieces with Brandon Graham still there as well and Derek Barnett on the edge. It makes sense why you'd want Jordan Davis. And I do think, again, he is not, guys, he's not Danny Shelton. He's not some nose tackle that can't move. Like, his career high in sacks is 2.5 in 2019. But to me, this is a player that can get to the quarterback, despite being, 6'7", 340 pounds. Yeah, can he move you with his body? 100%. Like, he's going to maul the interior of these offensive lines. But at the same time, like, he tested generationally for a guy that size at the combine. I mean, he's running in the 4, I forget, what did he run? He's 6'6", 341 pounds. Like, that is, you don't see that kind of player come around a whole lot. And what was his 40 time? Let's take a look here. 4.78. You're 6'6", you run a 340, and you run a 4.78. Like, I get it. I'm not somebody that was like loving the idea of the lines this year, but with Jordan Davis falling, he was the one guy at this position that I was okay with. You still have another pick as well. And so, I think it's understandable for sure. Let's see some of our listener reactions. Curtis, I'm kind of mad about it. I get it. Don't love it, but yeah, me too. I feel like that's most of the time how you feel when they take a lineman. I always compare it to the meat and potatoes, right? Like, I love the sides, I love the sides. Like, that's Thanksgiving, what gets me really going. But, at the same time, it makes sense. And for Jordan Davis, like, if you're going to go with a player at that spot, it's hard to not be excited about it. Matt's happy about it. Sean's happy about it. This is a good comment, too. I think we forget how many easy yards on the ground this team gave up last year. If Gannon wants to play the soft 2-high defense, he need a guy like Davis. Their run defense for this first time in a long time last year was brutal. So 100%. He's an absolute freak. His range is phenomenal. Yeah, it's true. I got to pull up this picture. So there was a picture of Davis standing next to Wyatt the other day. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Yeah. It's next to Devontae Wyatt, who's 6'4", 300 pounds, by the way, in his own right. And they showed a picture of Jordan Davis standing next to him. Check this out. This was just incredible. There we go. Like, look at that. Devontae Wyatt, this guy on the right, who I thought could potentially be on the board for the Eagles. Like, he's 6'4", 300 pounds. And look at Davis. He's towering over him. It's a giant man. An absolute freak. And that's what this team does. But again, I don't know. I hope they don't regret it. Apologies, guys. Dealing with some throat issues too, but I take a look at it and I understand it from quarterback. Like, they have Jalen Hurts. They have 2 first-round picks. So I understand why, when they made that trade with the Saints, the writing was on the wall. I just didn't think Willis was even going to make it to where you had to make a decision. All right, we got Gino back.
Okay, I was just in the backstage, and Doug Branson said that the Eagles made another trade with the Texans and are on the clock here at 15. I don't know how realistic this is. Wait. I'm not 100% sure. That's just what he said. I don't know. So stay tuned.
No, that's not true.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, because that would have been something, man.
Can you imagine? By the way, though, the Eagles did steal another pick. They totally stole that pick from Baltimore.
Oh, 100%. I love it.
Let's see this.
I love it. Here we go.
They said, you're going to take our guy, we're going to take Gino's guy.
Marcus Williams and Kyle Hamilton. Unbelievable. What a duo back there. What a duo back there.
Gino, are they going to go defensive line? Like if Jermaine Johnson falls? Because he could. The Chargers have Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. They're not going to take him. Houston, I guess, could. Washington, I don't think is going to take him.
Dude, Kyle Hamilton is the most Baltimore Ravens selection outside of Jordan Davis that there could have been. It's on par with what they do every single year. He doesn't look too happy. I don't know why. Maybe he thought he was going to go a little earlier, but yeah, they could go defensive line, Lou. I think I said on the Locked On show, Trent McDuffie could very well be the pick with the top 2 guys going. So, we'll see.
I ranted for months about not going trenches heavy. And I knew they were going to take 1. But to take 2, it's even hard for me to complain about it though. Even if they take 2, if Jermaine Johnson falls to 18,
you got to take him.
I'm sorry, you have to take him there. If you can have Jordan Davis and Jermaine Johnson with Hassan Riddick and Josh Sweat as long-term pieces, I mean, the value that, again, you don't force need and you don't force best player available. But to me, the drop-off of Jermaine Johnson and Trent McDuffie when it comes to upside of what that player can do for you is, to me, significant. I don't think Trent McDuffie is going to be a future CB1. I don't know. I don't think he projects as that, right? I think he's a high-end CB2.
I think that's fair. Maybe
Jermaine Johnson,
maybe they try and move back
as one of the best edge rushers in football. He has that upside. So I would understand.
Houston probably could take him. I'm interested to see what Washington's going to do now. I have no idea what they're thinking.
I could see safety, maybe Daxton Hill. They could take corner. Their corners are not great. I could see McDuffie going to Washington.
If Kyle Hamilton and Daxton Hill
wow,
one pick of each other.
The Ravens just traded Hollywood to the Cardinals.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, man. Nothing says nothing says support for Lamar, trading away your only good receiver.
For number 23 and for number 23. What? Whoa. Boy,
why does Baltimore hate Lamar? Lamar should demand a trade.
They're just going to win by defense, bro. That's you're going to allow 10 points a game with that defense, but my goodness.
Can we save Lamar? Brother. Can the Eagles trade for Lamar? Can we go save him? He's not signing an extension there. Don't sign an extension. No way I'm signing an extension in Baltimore.
Wait, they gave up Hollywood and a 3rd rounder for 23.
Wow. Hollywood, Rondale Moore, and DeAndre Hopkins and AJ Green next year is quite a receiving group.
They're going all in, man. Absolutely all in. That is wild.
Why are you trading Hollywood Brown?
Well, there's the first player trade.
Now Rashad Bateman and who? Who's there too?
Beats me.
It's not Miles Boykin anymore.
Beats me, dude.
Oh my gosh. Another good receiver.
So that's traded. What? 4 trades? The over-under was 5.5?
Yeah.
I hope you people hammered it.
Let's see Houston's pick here.
Ugh. Yuck.
Yuck.
I like Kenyon, but they could have.
That's really good for the Eagles, though.
Dude, Jermaine Johnson might be there at 18, Lou.
Yeah.
Think about that.
That's too good to me. Too good to pass up. Because there's not another guy I would take over him.
No, I don't think so.
There's not a corner I'd take. Safety I can get in round 2 or move up from 51. Even receiver right now, Olave's gone, Williams is gone, London's gone. I mean, maybe Treylon Burks. I do like Burks. It would be tough though, man. To if you take 2 defensive linemen, you got ground to make up in the secondary. Because you still need a receiver too.
Very well so. But I mean, you also fill 2 fantastic positions, man. Jordan Davis, dude. Look at him partying with the Philly crew. I love that. Oh, yeah. He's going to fit right in, man. He's going to be a piece of the puzzle. That's for sure.
Dude, he's a mammoth.
That's
Again,
1,000+
he's
pounds that you
full.
have to defend on the interior. I was saying
6'6", 300, and I forget how much he weighs. He ran a 4.7.
You're going to have to defend Javon
He's
Hargrave.
He's not a guy that's just going to be stuck on the field with his feet.
No,
dug in.
and that's what I want to talk about as well. Like, he very much will be in that 0/1 gap where he's over the center because they want to open up things for the linebackers in the back. But if you think that's all he's going to do, he's going to be on the field on third down, and they're going to say, go take as much space as possible. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, we need other things in D-line, but Fletcher Cox could be gone. Javon Hargrave could be gone. Like, Jordan Davis fills a fantastic role for you, and it's not Jim Schwartz's world.
It is a logjam though. Year one, like, how do you rotate Reddick, Sweat, Graham, Barnett, Cox, Hargrave, Jordan Davis? That's 7 players. Like, Howie himself did talk. That's fair. Howie did talk about, like, maybe you try to trade Cox at this point, right? Like, maybe you try to revisit that.
Maybe. I don't know.
Although you just signed him to a 1-year deal. Is anybody taking that?
Yeah.
Maybe at the deadline. But, I mean, Howie did himself talk about not clogging, spots for young players. But, again, Jermaine Johnson that's probably too good a value.
I don't think he goes to the Chargers. I don't think he goes to Washington. Like, I really think we thought he was a top 10 pick. Like, you were talking about trading up for him. Like, we have to realize, like, sometimes that best player available is a damn good player, and you might want to put him on your football team. Like,
I respect Ben Solak's opinion a lot. Sorry about that. He said, Jordan Davis is a dream pick for the Eagles. He single-handedly makes the entire Gannon defensive structure work. He's a math changer, a scale tipper, a force multiplier in the worlds of 2 deep safeties and light boxes. Home run.
absolutely. And that's the thing is, like, now you can play more within your 2 safety set. And Honest NFL, he tweeted this November 3rd, 2021. I would take Jordan Davis in the top 5 of the 2022 draft if I could. He's a once-in-a-decade talent, maybe twice. Having a mountain with real ability playing any of the inner techniques successfully is a schematic dream for defenses and a nightmare for offenses. He is the chess piece. He is now going to allow everybody else around him to do what they need to.
Right.
I get it. Trust me, I wanted Kyle Hamilton. Like, I would have loved Kyle Hamilton there. But, I mean, it is what it is. Like, Jordan Davis is a top 10 pick all day long, in my opinion. And I'm there. But I think the second pick, I would like to see them move back. I very much would like to see them move back. I think you move back to the mid-20s. Let's start talking about safety position. Like, let's get on it because they need help, Lou. Like, they do. Like, we can't worry about it.
Oh, I forgot Kyler and Hollywood played together at Oklahoma. So Kyler just got his old college wide receiver 1 back.
That's right, man. That's right. Washington. Who do you think they take, dude? I have no idea.
I'm not sure, but I'm hearing that the Chargers like Zion Johnson a lot, which is ideal. There's a guard going in front of you.
Washington should take Zion Johnson. Like, they just lost Brandon Sheriff. Like, you need guys there, man. Like, you need guys there. I don't care. They could pick a bag of potato chips right now, man.
Yeah, I don't know what maybe corner. Trent McDuffie. This could be McDuffie.
Yeah.
I can't, man, that Baltimore, I can't believe Lamar can't be happy.
No, at all. I mean, they do have that 23rd selection.
Whoa! The Eagles just traded for AJ Brown. I am not kidding. Adam Schefter is just.
You're lying to me, Lou.
No.
You're lying to me, Lou.
No. The Eagles just traded for AJ Brown.
Do not screw with me, Lou.
No.
Lou, don't mess with
Adam
me.
Schefter, Blockbuster trade. The Titans are planning to trade AJ Brown to the Eagles.
Oh! Woo! Come on! Roseman! Howie
AJ Brown
All of you
is.
who ever doubted this man, all of you who ever doubted this man are out of your mind. Out of your mind. He is one of the best GMs in this game. You just got Jordan Davis. You just got AJ Brown. Say what you want about him. You're wrong. You are wrong on Howie Roseman. You are wrong.
The Titans are trading AJ Brown to the Eagles in exchange for Philadelphia's 18th overall pick and another third-round pick.
Wow. Wow, Lou.
There are no more excuses for. There are no more excuses for Jalen Hurts.
Let's go, Lou. This is what we wanted. We wanted a wide receiver. We wanted Jordan Davis, and we got it. We got what we wanted. Woo! You were all wrong about Howie.
Wow, I'm speechless. Look, and again, this is Howie saying
AJ Brown is an Eagle, Lou.
AJ Brown is a Philadelphia Eagle. We got one of the 2019 receivers. That is vengeance. That is justice after taking JJ Arcega-Whiteside. Wow. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Quez Watkins, Miles Sanders, that offensive line. Gino, there are, and Washington just got Jahan Dotson. So that's fun for them.
That's fun for them, bro.
AJ Brown, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons in 2019 and 2020. 19 touchdowns total in those 2 years. Last year dealt with some injuries, still 63 catches, 869 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I have no words. When you said that, I thought you were out of your mind.
And no matter what now, Gino, if Hurts isn't the guy, the next quarterback that's going to come in has an incredible situation.
AJ Brown and Dallas Goedert. Oh my God, this is Christmas.
And he's going to need a big contract too. So keep in mind you're going to have to pay him. But Devontae's on a rookie deal. Quez Watkins is on a rookie deal. You have that luxury now of kind of having your cake and eating it too. Wow.
I
love it, man, because like value-wise, you weren't going to get better than Jermaine Johnson with that pick. But it was at a position that I really didn't want to go right there. And receiver was a spot that you needed more, and that I think that's a better use of that asset. You know what I mean? Like I think that makes so much more sense.
Yeah, the pass catchers, you missed out on them, right? We knew that we could potentially trade for one of these young ones. Howie Roseman has not only righted his wrong about 2013 when they missed, or whatever Marcus Smith was drafted. Put that in the past. I do not care. When they let the board fall and they missed out on their guy. Well, they went up and got Jordan Davis. Oh, we drafted J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Oh, we drafted Jalen Reagor. Stephon Diggs missed out on him. DeAndre Hopkins missed out on him. I do not care. It's a sunk cost. A.J. Brown is the future. Jordan Davis is the future. And you doubted Howie Roseman. You doubted this man year over year over year.
All right, let's not retract every issue that he did because he made one trade.
Right
Relax. That doesn't erase the past. Like
the past doesn't matter, Lou. They have an offense with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. You have Jordan Mailata.
But nobody was not justified in criticizing Howie just because he traded for A.J. Brown. Like, doesn't erase other
They're
things.
wrong.
But this itself is a great move.
Wrong. I do not care.
I'm not.
It's the future. It's the future. We are on to bigger.
Right, but it doesn't negate but don't discredit our
sunk cost. I don't care. It's gone. It's a sunk
cost.
cost.
Oh no, I don't mean the receiver. If you're talking receiver, yeah.
Yeah, criticize Howie Roseman all you want, but he's righted his wrongs, folks. He's righted those wrongs. So how long do we go now? What do we do? What do we do here?
I mean, this is incredible. I did not think we were going to be like, there were so many times this year where you hear, a receiver is available, like DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel, Amari Cooper, and you're like, Eagles, and just everybody always said Howie never makes this move. Like they're the Celtics, they're the Danny Ainge, right? Like, they never go all in like this. Well, they did it with AJ Brown.
That's what I was getting at. And that's what I'm saying. You have every right to say what you want about Howie Roseman. But to say that he didn't go out and try and trade for Calvin Ridley, he missed out on Christian Kirk because of that outrageous deal, and he has not supported his quarterback, you'd be wrong. He has done that. Jalen Hurts has no
Yeah,
excuse.
you can't say he hasn't built around Hurts. Like this is.
You can't say what he did to Wentz.
They're not going to run more than any. Yeah, right.
So they've traded 15, 124, 162, 166, 18, and 103 for AJ Brown and Jordan Davis. I can't complain.
Carson Wentz would have killed for the supporting cast, man. Let me tell you.
Dude, this is.
Let me tell you. I don't want to hear any excuse about Jalen Hurts this year. If they are running it 40 times a game, there is an issue. This better not be the Titans 2.0 or Baltimore. This is not. The Eagles want to be a passing football team, and they are showing you that. They're saying, look, we didn't take Malik Willis, Jalen. We didn't take Justin Fields. We didn't trade for a guy. It's here you go. Like, you want to do it, take the step. If not, we got picks next year. And now we got a great supporting cast for the next guy, if it's not you.
In the name of the great Andy Reid, Donovan McNabb, and the late Jim Johnson, the Eagles are back. Like, the early 2000s Eagles, like, this is what I grew up knowing. Like, good defensive line play with an absurd amount of guys up front that they can rush. Wide receivers, we've never seen this. But now they're going to be back to what they wanted to be. A passing attack that plays fantastic defense. We're back. We're cooking. I couldn't ask for a better day one. I could not have asked for a better day one, Lou. You got your wide receiver out of the box move, but you got your guy. Jordan Davis, you got your guy. We need secondary. Definitely need secondary. But I'm walking away right now, Lou, like A+, man.
What a day. Oh, my gosh. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Gino's got to do a TV spot, got to record a quick video. We'll be back in 5 minutes right here on Locked On Eagles. It's our live show. The Eagles trade twice today. Howie Roseman has now made 3 trades for this draft involving first-round picks, trading for a 2023 first with the Saints, trading up to get Jordan Davis, the defensive tackle from Georgia, and now trading the 18th overall pick and a 3rd-round pick for Titans star receiver AJ Brown to go with Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, Dallas Goedert, Miles Sanders, that elite offensive line. Howie's going all in on building this offense for Jalen or for the next quarterback. Incredible, man.
What a world, dude. We'll talk about more.
All right, we'll be right back. Yeah, we're still going to be here for a while. We're coming back.
Yeah, I might be back in the lockdown room, but I will definitely be back here whenever that is all said and done. But guys, what a world. AJ Brown, Jordan Davis, welcome to Philadelphia. I love this place. I absolutely love it.
All right, I'm back. Because the Eagles not only traded for AJ Brown, but they paid the man too. Jeff McClain's reporting the Eagles and AJ Brown have agreed on a 4-year, $100 million contract. The team had privately downplayed interest in joining resetting the wide receiver market, and there was ink spilled on Deebo Samuel being a target, but AJ Brown ends up their guy. So the Eagles not only trade for AJ Brown, but they give him a 4-year, $100 million extension. And it makes sense. Like, again, I didn't know if they were going to do it, and a lot of it wasn't their fault. I think they were just striking out. I don't think players in the free agent market wanted to go there. I think, when other guys had, trade destinations too, like when they could pick where they were going to go, the Eagles, it was going to be tough. It was going to be tough for them to convince a player to come to this offense that ran more than any last year with a quarterback that's limited throwing the football. But they get one to come in who's very close with Jalen, by the way. A.J. Brown and Hurts were just working out together last week. A.J. Brown commented on the Kelly Green jerseys a couple weeks ago, and Hurts said, "Oh, you trying to make it happen?" Well, it happened. And Brown gets his money. And that's a huge, as Bear says here, 4 years, $100 million. That's a huge commitment. But at the same time, you can do it right now because Jalen Hurts is on a rookie deal. Potentially your next quarterback, if it's not Hurts, is going to be most likely on a rookie deal unless you trade for somebody. But again, we saw how tough that was this offseason with quarterbacks especially. So let's say your next quarterback's on a rookie deal. And then also you look at it too, Devontae Smith is on a rookie contract for another 4 years potentially if you want to extend that 5th-year option. Quez Watkins on a rookie deal for another 2 years. Like, a lot of their money at receiver is super cheap right now. So you can get a lot of that money up front now to AJ Brown, especially while he's in his prime. And I think it works perfect. Howie Roseman, man, just always keeps you on your toes with these trades. 2 trades today, another trade in the 3 trades involving their first round this year. You come away with Jordan Davis and AJ Brown tonight. That's a home run. That's not something we mocked in Mock Draft Monday. That was not one of the scenarios that we really had playing out. I mean, we did talk about it, though. We mentioned Deebo Samuel when he was available. Would you give up one of those ones? 100%. We did say that. I didn't think they desperately needed to make this move because I love Devontae Smith, and I think Quez Watkins could be a good wide receiver too if he continues to develop. But that didn't mean you didn't need another receiver. Like, you definitely did. You needed another wide receiver for sure. I just thought the bigger steps were going to be taken with Jalen and improvements he needed to make on his own and with the guys you had in-house. But that doesn't mean you don't add a star receiver at that value if you can, heading into only year 4. And he's from 2019, the year you struck out, taking J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. The fact that you avenged that and get A.J. Brown, who, by the way, I did not like that year, which I was very wrong about, was all in on DK Metcalf at Ole Miss. So Brown, I kind of overlooked sometimes. But man, what a star. I mean, he's big. He is physical, a good route runner. He's a star. Run after the catch. He can do it all. You don't want to put him in a box. Like, he can do everything. I mean, what a supporting cast. Man, Carson Wentz would have killed for this. Carson Wentz leaves, and in 2 years you bring in Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. Like, that's just, oh, poor Carson. Poor Carson. But great for Jalen and great for the next guy too. Bringing back Gino here.
My dog Carson's just fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
Gino, when you were gone, AJ Brown receives a 4-year deal, $100 million, $57 million of which is guaranteed. But as I was saying, like, Devontae's on a rookie deal, Quez is on a rookie deal, Jalen, potentially your next quarterback. Like, you can do it right now. Excuse me. And he's a guy that's worth it. I'm losing my voice here. I mean, Howie has made it a fun night.
Absolutely so. And it looks like
the Titans replaced AJ Brown with Treylon Burks, by the way, a very similar player.
Very similar. Pittsburgh's probably going to end up getting Malik Willis, man. I mean,
20.
They
Not
got
a single quarterback taken. Even 2013, EJ Manuel went inside the top 20. Wow.
Oh, we're really aging ourselves with how bad that pick was, right? Yeah, I think $25 million a year exactly what you were going to have to pay a wide receiver.
You can afford it right now. You
Yeah.
can afford it. And again, Gino, wait, hold on. Let's see what the Steelers pick is. All right, I'm not waiting for them to do all this spiel again. But Gino, what I was saying was like we both talked about it. We talked about Deebo Samuel I think a week and a half ago. Like we talked about, and we've done it before with all these receivers that were available. You needed another player, and you want to make it as easy for Jalen or the next quarterback as possible to succeed. Like you don't want to skimp. We saw what can happen, what that effect can have on a quarterback. 100%. We've seen it across the NFL, not just in Philadelphia. We did say though we thought the improvements would come more from Jalen himself, from the young guys you actually have. But when you have an opportunity to land AJ Brown heading into what is this, year 4 now? That's it. And, you know, in the middle of his prime, as good as that player is, you see across the league, Kenny Pickett went to Pittsburgh. It wasn't even Malik Willis.
No, dude.
Yeah.
No. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Wow. Pittsburgh is.
I just texted my buddy to apologize that they just got Kenny Pickett. Oh, man. That's bad. No. So the Tomlin thing must have been smoke the whole time. That they loved Malik. It must have been smoke the whole time. And now he stays in Pittsburgh. Ew.
Do you think they felt rushed, like because they're in a win now, like with their roster, that they needed their guy right away that could play, as if Willis, although I think he could. I don't know, man.
Pittsburgh.
Is Malik going to fall outside the first round? Maybe Tampa takes him to replace Brady eventually. I don't know, man. But anyway, back to AJ Brown. Like, again, look at the Rams. Look what they had at receiver. Look at the Bengals. Like,
Buffalo.
Quez Watkins now can be your, like, Tyler Boyd. You got your T. Higgins and your Jamar Chase. Quez can be that perfect 3. And Cincinnati doesn't have Dallas Goedert. That's the thing, man. If Quez Watkins keeps developing, this could be a better situation than even what Cincinnati had last year.
We talk about the mass on the defensive line after adding Jordan Davis. AJ Brown ain't no small fella. Dallas Goedert ain't no small fella neither. I mean, that makes up for all the size that you're kind of lacking on the outside with Devontae and Quez. But, I mean, the middle of the field is where they're going to eat. And you want your quarterback to improve in that area where he was so badly lacking last year. Go get the guy who could do it the best in the NFL, AJ Brown. Like, they have a bona fide top 10 wide receiver, Lou, for the first time in how long? And they might have another one.
They might have 2.
Yeah, they might. Very well
Get
so.
Devontae Smith the ball more this year. I think he can be one.
They have a better wide receiver group than the Dallas Cowboys. I'll tell you that right now. And anybody who wants to challenge me on it, go right ahead. They have a better group than Dallas. Michael Gallup's coming off an injury. I don't care. They have a better group than Dallas.
Quez can be just as good as Michael Gallup.
Without a doubt. And you needed to do that in this division because you draft to beat your division. You add players to beat your division. The Giants are going to have a tough time covering them on the outside. Washington's going to have a tough time covering them on the outside. And Dallas, yeah, they got Trevon Diggs, but there's also 4 other guys you're going to have to defend. And now this offense becomes a chessboard. The defense becomes a chessboard. And things open up. And it's just not going to be condensed and 12 personnel sets. Like
Quez Watkins is your like 5th option in this offense. Kenny Gainwell is your like 6th. You have
Miles Sanders like your 10th passing option.
And Gino, the other thing with the Bengals, like I'm comparing them to the Bengals because they had a young quarterback, a young group of weapons. They didn't have the Eagles' offensive line. Like they could carry the offense with the weapons, even though they had a bad offensive line. The Eagles have both now, but they don't have. Now we got to see if Hurts can become Burrow. And I still doubt it, but he's going to have every opportunity now.
Did you really just say that? Like, are you out of your mind?
He's not going to be Burrow, but
Kansas City's on the clock now. That's interesting.
Yeah, traded up no, they didn't trade up, did they? This was their pick.
No, they had like 28 and 29 or something, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. They definitely weren't picking at 21. Are we rolling through the whole first?
I got I got to do a Fox 43 spot in a couple minutes, so we'll
Okay.
wrap up.
Okay.
Guys, we are
got to
going
do the jersey giveaway. We got to do that.
Yes, we're going to do the jersey giveaway, and we are going to be recording a podcast as well tonight. So we're going to have one for our podcast feeds. So make sure you subscribe to Locked On Eagles wherever you get the show. We will have a reaction to. We still got to talk more Jordan Davis too, AJ Brown as well.
Haven't even touched on it.
Yeah, so I mean, we're a good amount, but then they really quick they turned around. Yeah, Gino, hold on, let me pull up this jersey giveaway real quick.
Yeah, so anybody who entered, thank you for entering. I put all the names in a random wheel. We'll set up with you and give us some time in the next couple of days here with the draft going on, but we'll get you that Hassan Reddick jersey. Thank you everybody who's subscribed to the YouTube page over the past 5 months. We're trying to get to 1,000. Help us get to 1,000. We're almost there. And somebody's going to have a free, authentic Hassan Reddick jersey. Number 7, man.
All right, man. Let's you ready?
All right. Whoever gets the land is going to get the jersey.
Hold on. Matt says, what do I do for the jersey?
Oh, no.
Is it too late?
Oh, no. I don't know. I don't know if we could put his
yeah,
his
sorry,
name in
buddy.
there.
I think it's
We had 4 months.
We'll do another giveaway. We'll do it. Yeah,
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
do another giveaway. We'll do another giveaway. All right, here we go. Let's see who gets the Hassan Reddick jersey. Thanks again, everybody, for contributing and being a part of this with us this all offseason. We wanted to do this for you guys because, again, it's a dream come true to do this. This is draft our 4th live show together
Yes,
for the draft. So the fact that there are even this year, especially the amount of live streams and content you could find on the draft, the fact that you guys are choosing us means the absolute world. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this Hassan Reddick jersey. And let's take a look at who wins it. We'll have to do an AJ Brown one now too. What number is he going to wear? 11? No, Pascal has it now. All right.
K Jenkins 3. Congratulations. We'll tweet it out.
K _Jenkins 3. We got to tweet out. You have won the Hassan Reddick jersey from Locked On Eagles. So again, thank you guys so much. Yeah, what a night. I mean,
yeah, this is awesome, man. I mean, this is what we do it for. Like
the
this
first
is the
4
day
picks,
we put in all the work. Yeah,
the first
it was
4
sketchy.
picks, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is going to go well. And
things
the fact
turned
that
around.
you come away with
That's why we always
Jordan
love this
Davis
team.
and AJ Brown. Now, Gino, real quick, and we'll do it on the podcast too, but it'll look to tomorrow. Can we get a DB, please? Like, can we get a safety?
Trent McDuffie just went, so yeah.
Can we get Tariq Woolen? I mean,
yeah, I think safety and corner are the next 2 outlets that they have to go with. They got your quarterback. You got your defensive lineman. You got your wide receiver. Now it's time to shore up what you and I have been stressing about for quite some time. You have pick 51, then you have another 3rd round pick still. You still have 2 premium picks. You have to hit on those. I mean, the work they've done so far is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. AJ Brown, Jordan Davis. But hey, draft isn't just 1 round. It's not just 1 day. It's multiple days. And they're going to go get one. And we'll talk about it on the after show. And just thank you guys for tuning in for 3 hours live that we've been going here and everything on Locked On Network. Like, this is the best that people actually tune into our reactions.
I know. On TV 2, Fox 43, about to do a spot there. Make sure you check out. Got some written content coming up later tonight too about AJ Brown, about Jordan Davis at fox43.com. And again, make sure you subscribe to the podcast on all platforms and on YouTube as well. Got a lot of content still coming up. The draft is not over. The Eagles still have 3 picks tomorrow, or 2 now, because they did give up one of the thirds for AJ Brown, but they sold 51 overall. And do you know if they gave up 83 or 101?
101.
101. Okay, so they still have the early third still too, which is
Yeah.
awesome. So 51 and 83 tomorrow. Jordan Davis and AJ Brown today. For Gino Camilleri, I'm Lou DiBiase signing off. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you for the post-game show. Post-draft show coming up. Post-day 1, whatever you want to call it, later tonight. For Gino Camilleri, I'm Lou DiBiase signing off. As always, thank you for watching, and let's go Birds.
Fly AJ Brown and Jordan Davis.
You are Locked On Eagles, your daily Philadelphia Eagles podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.